This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey, guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO Radio, we are back. What's up, everybody? Yes, the WFO podcast is back in studio. Myself, Giovanni in Miami. Happy post-Thanksgiving to all of you folks out there who listen to the show on a weekly basis. We appreciate it. We're thankful. I'm thankful for you. Gio, are you thankful for them?
Absolutely. Love them.
Oh, that's too bad. I mean, yes, that's great. And what a holiday weekend it was. Thanksgiving and the consumption and the eating, like 3 massive meals. Not 1, but 3, which was really great stuff. That was good. And we'll get into that, all the Thanksgiving revelry. Then, over the weekend, I went racing and Formula One and all kinds of great stuff going on. Jimmy Johnson, Fernando. The real story is this.
Black Friday.
So true. In fact, it's Cyber Monday right now. Have you made any Cyber Monday purchases?
Yeah, of course I have. I was
Anything?
splurging and buying and
Splurging.
stuff.
But today's a great day to get purchases. I was thinking about doing some purchasing and, maybe something for the studio, maybe something, something. And I have yet to do it, though. I have yet to do it, and I'm going to miss out on Cyber Monday and Black Friday and all of that. I'm missing it out on all of it. They say that you can get better deals if you wait a little longer. But it's not even about that. I don't know. It's when I need something, I can find it on a regular day. I don't need to wait for a day. That's my view.
Joe just buys Joe stuff whenever Joe needs stuff.
Like the other day, I needed something to connect my iPhone to a tripod. You understand what I'm saying? One of those things. And I had purchased some crappy ones in the past, and they broke. And so, this is not going to be good for me. I need to get a good one. And this was Wednesday, Tuesday, something
Kodak
like
moment.
that. And I'm thinking to myself, I got to get these right now so that maybe I can have them for the track. And boom, on the phone, Amazon app.
The droid dropped it off
Search.
within a few hours?
Boop, it was there Friday morning before I went to the track. One of them. The other one came in a little late. But that's what's so amazing. And we'll get to that. It's good. It's good.
It's the same as if you had gotten up on Friday morning and gone by your local brick and mortar electronic
I don't
place.
even know, where. Name
Best
it.
Buy.
Best Buy? I don't think this thing that I got is available at Best Buy. I don't think they have anything even remotely close to it. Or maybe they do. I don't know.
Target.
No, man, that's all over.
They have they had a whole electronics section now
2
for all your
items,
portable
some purchaser
electronic devices.
I'm against it. It's over. It's sad, but it's just too convenient. Give me convenience or give me death.
Wow. Had to go way out there, huh?
Well, it's like give me liberty.
Well, no, I understand
you understand
the pun.
the play? You understand?
I comprenda.
Okay. So Formula One was exciting. I got to watch it. The NASCAR Awards is this weekend. Jimmy Johnson and Fernando Alonso swapped cars. We'll get onto that. And I'm trying to solve a mystery. And I want the WFO audience to assist with the mystery. And there's various silly
What's
season
in the box?
changes. Yes.
Is that a mystery?
Yes. What is in the box? And I also think you should open the phone lines, now. Off-season programming. Sure. We're in the off-season now. Anything can come to the table. Anything can happen. We don't even know what's going to come up. And I got 2 kind of off the beaten path things that I will introduce. And maybe Giovanni has them. Maybe Gio has got some things as well. One piece of news, because I did watch the NASCAR America, and they're in off-season programming too. You could tell. But saw that Danny Stockman has been promoted to crew chief for Austin Dillon in 2019. And Danny was always very nice to come on the satellite show. And was like a genuine, I saw him a couple of times at the track and just had the most genuine attitude about racing. Like, pure love for it. And has been successful at all levels in the Camping World Truck Series and in Xfinity Series, has won races and certainly deserved the opportunity to try his hand at the big show level, Cup Series, which they had done a couple of races a few years back, but immediately got demoted back down. Now going to have a shot with Austin Dillon in the Cup Series level. I thought that was neat. That's a great story. Mostly because of
the connection.
The personal connection.
Isn't that what life is all about? The personal connections.
Totally is. And that's the problem with so many things right now. NASCAR in particular, it's nobody's fault per se. It's just you can't make a personal connection on purpose immediately. That's all. So I think patience needs to be exercised. People are talking about how the ratings this year, and even the ratings of the Homestead race, were not great, right? Something like 2.5.
Yeah, it was better than most of the other races, but considerably down for Homestead. Like the vast majority of the races were down this year.
Well, right. And
I believe I sent you that story from the Sports Business Journal.
Oh, about the ratings for the finals or for
all the NASCAR races this year. It was. I mean, it was.
I don't recall
week.
Receiving that.
Yeah, it was. Well,
they're not saying I didn't see it. I mean, maybe I didn't. I just forgot, or maybe it got buried. That happens.
That happens. I'm sure it
that
does.
Sounds like an interesting story.
I believe you're out of town when it first occurred, so that might, you were working your way back from the West Coast.
Or maybe I read it.
Could be.
And maybe that's what I'm talking about. Maybe that's where I got this information that I'm relaying.
I'm pretty sure because it sounds like something to that extent. So yes.
Yeah. But in the end, it's because people don't care about anybody because we don't know them, and it's a process.
Well, we're getting to know them, though.
We are getting to know. Like, Danny Stockman, I can root for him. I can say, man, I'd like to see Austin Dillon win some races because Danny Stockman is the crew chief. And I knew this guy, I got to see him in action. And he was nice. And you want him to be successful. Simple as that. Interesting. Now, it relates because this past weekend, for the first time in 1 year, I was able to go out and race my own vehicle and enjoy that. And I did a couple of Facebook Lives, not nearly as many as I wanted, because I was there were some, there were struggles, man. There were struggles. It's a great challenge to go to the racetrack, period, just to get there with all your stuff. Think about, going on vacation. You're going to go and you're going to get on a plane. You're going to go somewhere. You're going to be there. You want to make sure you have all your stuff. And it's, I'm not saying it's stressful, but you definitely put a lot of effort into it. Well, the going racing thing is a big challenge. So we had an interesting weekend, but a successful one. But over the course of the weekend, did, 2 or 3 Facebook Lives, got a lot of positive feedback and a lot of questions. The problem was, since it was bright sunlight out there, I could not even see what any of the questions were. So I was just talking to people like, hey, and they're asking me like, hey, what color is that? And I just ignored them.
Makes perfect
totally
sense.
Ignored them. Like one of our great listeners, Derek Green, have any troubles getting to the track? And the answer is yes, but no. Yes, but no. And that's the whole start of the story. But in the end, it all worked out real well. The social media traffic has been fantastic. Photos of the car. It was a great time. We lost second round of the Saturday race. And that's the lead. In the end, we did not win $5,000. You want to know how you know that? Because it's not the first thing I told you. If I had won 5 Gs...
yeah, you wouldn't be bearing the lead.
I would not. I will be telling you exactly what was up. Instead, I had a fun day at the racetrack. Turns out they started paying $5,000 for this Citrus Nationals, and it was a very interesting situation. So we were going to load up on Wednesday, And then right as we're like getting ready, we discovered a problem with our tow vehicle. As in the air conditioning was out and it was going to be hot.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, we had just had this fixed, so something was up.
Oh, but that's not a problem. Isn't it winter?
Yeah, exactly. It's wintertime where it's like 85 degrees. No,
Sorry.
You're right. But I was going to tough it out. I was going to tough it out.
I had to.
But the check engine soon light also came on. Just a mysterious bad timing thing. And so we're not going to tow everything we've got halfway up to West Palm Beach, Florida, an hour and 15 minutes away, and get stuck halfway because we left when the check engine light was on. Well, fortunately, our good friend and mechanic, his name is Joe also, because we have to have 25 Joe friends, came to the house on Friday morning. Like on Friday morning, we were not going. We're not going to go. That's it. We're not going to go. But we gave him a call, and he said, I'll come over. And he took the truck, and he charged the air, and he checked, all the codes, cleared all the codes, everything fine, no big deal. Go to the track. So that was big. Big tip of the cap to Joe Cimino for getting us down the road.
Way to go, Joe.
Yeah. No, that was a really wonderful and nice thing. Because otherwise, I was ready to go drive the GTO. Which, by the way, it's all tied together. Because how on earth did I get back to see Lewis Hamilton win? And the final Formula One race of the year. It's all tied together.
There was no racing Sunday, or that was only if you had if you had advanced past the second round. Did you want to get into this right now, or do you want?
Well, I don't know. I think we can do both. I think it's just going to be bouncing back and forth.
It sounded like we were doing some F1 stuff, but now we're getting into like Joe personal connections and race car. And
well, I wanted to mention the Danny Stockman news, and that got me on this.
All right,
but I'm going to bring it back. Watch. You don't even know where it's going.
No,
you don't even know where it's going. It's going. This is why you listen to WFO, folks, because it is a meandering stream, and you never know where it's going to be.
Look
what's
at that.
Around the
Something
corner.
just made me think of
what that you send the push notification to open the phone.
I did send it.
That's good. But what I was really getting back to was the great sponsors that make WFO possible.
Oh, we love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, like HusseyPerformance.net.
Absolutely. Don't forget about your
CatSpotLitter.com.
With that, too. I was thinking Rodax gift packs.
RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Yes, of course, podcasts have sponsorships. This guy was all over the place, man. He was telling us this great story, and he teased Formula One, and now he's giving sponsors. That's right. You want to know what the heck happened, don't you? Marvin Rodak, RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, samtech.edu, of course, motorsportsguys.com, aerospacecomponents.com, Hanks Defers Metalworking Lubricants. Get this one. I got the dates. PRI, December 6th, 7th, and 8th, of course, but it's booth number 57, and the whole world is going to be there. You're going to want to see Tommy Johnson Jr., Antron Brown, the Sackman brothers. They're all going to be there, but you want to know when. Thursday, 1 to 3, that's December 6th, and Friday, noon till 2, December 7th, a date that will live in infamy. Noon till 2. So come by the Hanks Defers Laboratories booth and check it out, plus audible.com/WFO Nitro, the folks that make WFO radio possible. All right. What did you say we were going to talk about? Formula One? Was it going to be NASCAR? Was it going to be Joe Racing? What was it going to be, Giovanni?
Well, it was going to be everything. We were going to talk about NASCAR, a banquet coming up. We're going to talk about Formula One, Lewis's dominant season, the champion of champions, Sebastian. It was a microcosm of season.
Of
Lewis
our lives,
first,
actually.
Sebastian second. Ferrari just, another positive step and a pretty decent season, but not good enough. Second, as we know, is the first loser.
I'm okay.
We have sucked for over a decade.
Yes.
I mean, how terrible
Marked
is it?
improvement.
The Yankees haven't won since 2009. Ferrari since 2007.
Oh,
don't
do that.
Our sports life is going to crap.
Miami Dolphins, we're talking Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in our lifetime, it has barely happened.
Yeah.
They've even barely gone.
What are you trying
in our
to
adult
do?
life?
You trying to depress me? Why did Lewis take his shirt off?
So we could see his skinny little self and all his tattoos.
What is
whatever.
that? Is that a Celtic cross?
No, I'm gonna just go out there on a limb and say it's some sort of religious cross. I'm not. I'm just
I think
guessing.
that's what a Celtic cross is. I think it's religious.
Oh,
In fact,
well,
I
you said.
think-
I thought you were
think
talking
most-
like Boston Celtics.
Aren't they all religious? The crosses?
In one way or another, I
For
would
the most
assume
part?
so. Yeah.
I mean, maybe not. What about that Maltese cross?
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking.
Well, you know what? This is definitely something for you to investigate.
Oh no.
Go to the net.
That sounds like
Go to
work.
the
Nah,
net.
screw that. I can't even spell Maltese anymore.
No, you got to find that out. That's a geo tool.
All right.
But yes, Lewis Hamilton wins the race. Vettel was second. Verstappen third. They were all yucking it up at the end. Of course, Lewis has been dominant. 5th world championship. I love that light-up video screen board he drove on top of. I got to actually watch and enjoy the whole race. Nico Hulkenberg, barrel rolled and off the tire with Grosjean. I thought it was a miracle Grosjean was able to continue. For me, it's all about Haas
And
F1.
score points.
Yes, but for me, it's all about Haas F1. The Haas F1 team and what they were able to do here in 2018.
Oh.
Second best story of the 2018 motorsports season, Haas F1, my opinion. Right behind Steve Torrence' perfect countdown. That's the number one motorsports story of the year, as far as I'm concerned. Number one, bar none, motorsports story of the year. It's going to be hard. Lewis Hamilton winning 5th world championship. That is a really big story.
Huge.
Huge, but it's not perfection. That's the thing. A small family-owned team out of Texas going up against the giants of the sport and beating them by being perfect is the best motorsports story of 2018. Now, I don't know if there's any places that vote on this stuff anymore.
It's just fake.
Well, look, who cares? Who's talking about this? Joe Castello says that this is the biggest motorsports moment. Whose opinion matters on this? Who do we have to talk to and compel? Attack with this information? Who deserves a wave of people? Maybe you don't agree as listeners. And that's an interesting discussion. There you go. Greatest motorsports moment of 2018. That's a WFO show for 2 weeks from now when we're desperate. But right now we have decent material.
Let's write that one down.
Write it down.
Because
By
I
the
have
way,
a very good memory. It's just short.
We have to take the note. Best motorsports story of 2018 for our off-season programming. We'll come up with it. In the end in the race, Hamilton won, dominated, just like the season. Vettel second, perfect in the driver's standings. And Kimi Räikkönen ended up third in the driver's standings. So you got Lewis.
Which is the highest he's ever finished in his return to Ferrari.
Since that 2007 World Championship?
Yep.
Yeah. In the end, the story for Ferrari is of great and vast improvement, but still falling short to Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. Is there shame in that? No, there's no shame.
Well, no, it's no shame, but it sucks.
It's not fun. No, it's not something to get excited about. You can find, cautious optimism in it. All right. Vettel made many mistakes on the track that made a big difference, and Lewis did not. The cars, the Mercedes was a little faster, more consistently than the Ferrari. As far as reliability issues, I think they were more reliable as well.
And especially, we've seen it now over the last couple of years when the Ferrari was competitive. The second half, though, the Mercedes has just taken it to them.
Taking it to them, man. And we make mistakes. So that's it. To finish second in the Constructors.
To put it plainly, we make mistakes.
That's it. So whatever. We lose.
Again.
You compare them to our New York Yankees. Very similar situation. We made mistakes. Little bobbles of the ball in the infield. Runners in scoring position. You make mistakes and your opponent does not. Chances are you're going to lose. Barring some, weird stuff. And that's exactly what happened. Max Verstappen coming into his own, but the second best story, I guess, like I said, the third best story in world motorsports is Haas F1. Behind Steve Torrence and Lewis Hamilton winning his 5th world championship. Haas F1 bumped down to third. No big deal on the podium. I feel like that's still the truth. Yeah. How on earth is this startup American team finishing 5th in Constructors' Championship?
And it could have been a different story had they not had that penalty where they took away the points that that race. And
Yep.
But Renault did come on with a couple of good finishes there at the end, too. They had, I believe, a 4th or 5th. So, hey, competing at a much higher level than anyone anticipated, much sooner than anyone anticipated.
A shocking level of competition. It's fun for me. And as someone who has been, since introduction to Formula One several years back in the 1990s during the middle of the Schumacher dynasty, and, of course, being Italian-American, we have to love Ferrari. You have to. It's just, there's no other option. Unless they start up an American Formula One team and they have Ferrari power, then it's all of a sudden like, whoa, wait a second.
How about that?
I can get with this. And I feel the emotional connection, Gio. See that?
Isn't it great?
See it? It's all coming together. You thought we were going nowhere with this. And it's all tied together. This is the WFO opus right here. The greatest show that has ever happened. Now, if we can only get a phone call.
Well, apparently the push has not gone through, even though I sent it, scheduled it. It says scheduled or sent. But it came through. I didn't get it.
Well, I never get the pushes.
Yeah, which is, that's...
Neither does Dan. Dan doesn't get the pushes.
I don't know about that.
How about Elephant Racers in the studio last week?
Yeah, I think he's making stuff up just to.
But he didn't know what my problem was.
Oh no! Look, I got it 14 minutes ago. It did come through. Whoa!
Uh-oh.
I did get the update, and now the notifications look particularly different.
What, you got an update?
Well,
another update?
No, the previous one.
Because there's a new one.
Another one?
Yeah.
Well, I did it last night.
So you got them both probably.
Probably. It might have been. But now the notifications are all like, WFO's got like its own little folder, I guess it would be the best way to describe it. And it's got 8 more right behind it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
these devices, man, they've taken over the world.
Yeah, I don't understand why they find the need to be constantly upgrading stuff.
Well, they're trying to make them better, man. I don't know what to say about the devices. I have the iPhone 10, and I'm a little disappointed with it, really. Why? I was using my 6 the other day, and I was feeling like, you know what? The update on the 6 is really good. The 6 is flying around.
Look at that. So you see the notifications. You see how there's more behind it?
So how do you get to them?
Well, I think you click on it, hit it. And it'll go to them is the only thing I can imagine.
Clear all view.
Well, look at.
Oh, I see it. Oh, look at that! You just touch
started.
Every single push notification we sent back to Tuesday. Ignition is in the archive. Logano Cup champ Castello rules. Let's see, championship discussion with in-studio guest Elephant Racers, plus Sports Collision. Oh, we got to do that. Don't forget that. Nitro catches up with new NHRA on Fox lead announcer Brian Lones. Man, this show is fantastic.
Dude, you got the heat turned up in here?
No, I don't get any of these, by the way. None of them.
What? That doesn't
Brian
mean they're
Lones
not
discusses
happening.
his new role. Happy Thanksgiving, WFO Universe. The archive will help you survive Black Friday.
Huh? You see, there must be some creative MF for sending your pushes.
The archive will help you recover from Thanksgiving weekend. The WFO archive has been waiting for you to digest. Hit it. Great interviews, more coming. That was me.
That doesn't sound like you.
That was a great one. That's the best one. Here it is. Phone lines are open. The off-season madness begins.
There it is. You see?
It is. No, that's good. Good job. If only we could get a call. That would be good. And to answer your question, not intentionally, but maybe, it could be Hammer. We'll have to figure it out in the commercial break that is coming up momentarily.
Give me my phone back.
Yeah. So we'll do that. But
no,
really,
don't go to those special sections.
But we are going to go to the. Oh no!
I have I need to get one of those self-destruct buttons.
Somebody got arrested the other day, and they were talking about the police downloading the contents of their phone.
Wow!
How does that happen?
Yeah, but no, they can't. They would have to open your phone.
Right. But they were trying to find out if the person was texting and driving.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that
but
was.
But what if you're using the voice? You could text and drive using the voice stuff.
Well, I don't know. Can they? Are they allowed to take everything?
I don't know. Not up to date on my cyber law.
Well, it's a little frightening
and stuff.
A little frightening.
That's that's probably a good field to get into, children.
Cyber law.
Cyber law. There's going to be lots of issues with that coming up.
Very confusing situation
And
right
I'm
now.
sure no one really knows what the hell's going on right now. And you might be a trailblazer.
All these devices.
In other words, you might make crap loads of money.
Give me convenience or give me death.
Yeah, look, listen to Joe. Buying stuff up right there at the touch of a finger.
Well, there's this new Facebook device. It's hardware. It's
Facebook hardware?
Yeah, it's like a unit.
I am not comprehending.
It's a unit you buy, like a screen. It's Facebook station or dock. It's called something like that.
Okay.
And it's the beginning of Star Trek.
So it's in essence what, like something you dock your phone on so you could...
No, it's not connected to your phone. It's its own thing. It sits like in your kitchen, and it's got a screen and a camera, and you make calls on it, video calls. But it's like big factor. So you're not holding like a little thing. It's like kind of a bigger screen over there.
Like the size of, say, a tablet or something?
Yeah. Yes. The size of a tablet.
And all it does is connect you to a video type connection through some other fool that's got the same tablet
like
you have?
They've got one in the kitchen, too. And you're
like
both
essentially if we're calling on FaceTime?
Yes, except you don't hold the thing, and you don't carry it around with you.
But then, okay, so then, so it sits there, and you got to, like old school phones that you have to stand near where it was?
Yes.
Like, oh, look, so we might have, the children might understand what our childhood was like when we wanted to use the phone that, when
what
we
is
first
the name of this thing?
wanted to use the phone at home, there was probably like that one phone in the living room somewhere that was attached to a cord that you had to go sit next to where the phone was. Then as we started getting a little older, they had those super long coiled cords so you could kind of walk around like 20, 30 feet away with it. And then they finally came out with the wireless.
Hold on. Are
with
you really doing this?
With the cool little radio antenna. Remember that one?
Yes. Are you really giving the kids out there, first of all, are there any?
Yeah,
are there
like
any little
and,
kids?
And,
what it was like? Yeah, kids, not every call used to be FaceTime back then.
Yeah, I'm still amazed by that, too.
And sometimes, to call, you'd have to use the rotary.
Oh, yeah, forget about that. You can't even explain that one.
Why did you have to do that?
I don't know.
I don't even know either. I don't know.
We're going to leave it there, though. I'm not going to take it out now.
But so, do you like the idea of this Facebook thing? I'm trying to find it out.
No, I think it sounds stupid to me. But, what do I know?
But like Star Trek, when you saw Star Trek and people were coming up on a screen, you thought that was cool.
I find it kind of unnecessary to have a separate screen for it.
Portal.
I feel like
it's called Portal.
Portal, of course. It makes sense.
Yeah. It's called the Portal.
I'm sure they sunk millions of dollars into the advertising.
Skip this ad. I'm going to skip this ad right now. I can only skip it in 1 second. Skip the ad.
Social media network wants to come home with you. Facebook is launching new smart home devices made for video calling, but it is raising privacy concerns for some after Facebook's recent data scandals and scams. Liza Lucas is following all of the reaction to this new.
Well, you already know all you need to know about it, because that was the thing I was getting at. It's like, okay, who else is watching this? I'm calling you and you're calling me, and we're on each other's screen, and in between it is the internet and Facebook. Who else is watching?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Apparently everybody.
Apparently. It's called the Portal. Of course it's good, but doesn't it look cool?
It looks super cool.
It looks like the future, man. That's exactly what we've been waiting for our whole lives. So much better than carrying around this portable one everywhere.
Right. Whoa.
I got to hold this.
I've seen the people with the watch one. They just talk to it.
All right.
10-minute timer.
We have to,
retarded stuff like. Excuse me.
Attention, WFO universe. We have to take a quick break to deal with temperature concerns in the WFO studio.
Oh, what's the matter? I'm not the only one feeling the heater.
No, huh? I don't know what's happened out there, but maybe we've had an explosion. I don't know.
There could be a fire on the west wing.
We haven't had this problem in a long time. People who are longtime listeners know that we've had this under control for a while.
Why don't you just turn it on from your smartphone app there?
Well, you have that, don't you?
Well, not here, not connected to here.
No. You know what? There's another one that's crazy. You ready?
What's that?
You know that Ring doorbell?
Yeah.
You have that, right?
I do.
Okay, get this.
Oh, boy.
No, it's like, we've got a new service at Ring Doorbell to stop crime in your neighborhood. It's like a neighborhood watch. You and your doorbell network together with your neighbors and their doorbell. Yeah, so when someone goes to your neighbor's door, you can see. And when someone goes to your door, your neighbors can see. Who is doing that?
That one doesn't sound like a good idea to me. Just saying.
It's horrible.
I haven't even heard of that
It's like a
one.
neighborhood watch.
Yep.
You and your neighbors are all getting the same information. You're all networked together. Isn't it great? No, it's not great. It's not great. All right, so we'll be back momentarily after these fine words.
You're not kidding.
No, I'm not, man. It's about we're going nuclear here. 30 minutes in. That's good first segment. We teased and touched on several subjects, and then we've gotten off track, but in a very interesting area.
What else is new?
Right. That's WFO. If you enjoy this, click subscribe. We'll be back after this.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey, racers and race fans, I want to tell you about the motorsports guys. Terry McMillan from Elkhart, Indiana, has got a new venture, and we want you to hit the website at motorsportsguys.com. It's going to be a one-stop shop. They're going to have it all, but most importantly, oil, Amalie, better than it has to be since 1903, available at motorsportsguys.com. Check it out. Bookmark it, motorsportsguys.com. Terry McMillan stepping up as a supporter of WFO Radio. Check him out, motorsportsguys.com.
Start your education at full speed with the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Accelerate your career as a high-performance engine builder with classroom instruction and practical hands-on experience in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. In addition to the blockhead and CNC programs, SAM now offers motorsport, EFI tuning, and an Associates of Applied Science degree. And SAM is a military-friendly school, approved to train veterans and other eligible persons under the GI Bill. Start your education at full speed. Go to samtech.edu today.
Hussey Performance Copper Head Gaskets. You got to call David directly. 724-318-8292. Hussey Performance Copper Head Gaskets for you engine builders out there. These guys are supporting WFO. Check them out. It is husseyperformance.net.
Hey, this is Scott Palmer, driver of the NHRA Cat Spot Litter Top Fuel Dragster. Do you have a cat? Go to catspotlitter.com. Order it today. All natural product made out of coconuts. 100% biodegradable. All you NHRA fan, cat owners, support our team. Go to catspotlitter.com.
Subscribe to WFO Radio on iTunes. Never miss a show. And don't forget to write a review. WFO.
Now back to WFO Radio Ignition.
We are back. We are now back. WFO, everybody. You know, I like the off-season shows the best. I feel unrestricted. We can just talk about whatever we want.
The plate comes off.
Well, there's no expectations, right? There's very little.
There shouldn't be.
There's very, very little expectations, and that's what I'm all about. No expectations. Great. Great
Promise
stuff.
nothing, over-deliver.
Yes, exactly. So we mentioned Thanksgiving. The Giovanni family came to my house on Thanksgiving for breakfast. It's kind of a tradition that's been going on now for 2 years. And it was good. And then
Feels like it's been going on longer than 2 years.
I feel like it's been 2 years. And then I went to my parents' house where, we did some race car work and had fun. And I ate with them. We had ribeyes. And then I got invited to Mama Giovanni's house.
I almost don't even remember that. I think by then I was already full into the food-induced coma and
You were in a
overconsumption.
catatonic state. You definitely were.
Between the food and the football and the
What else?
fun.
the alcohol.
Yeah, well, I couldn't.
alcohol?
Yes, I couldn't work an F into the alcohol.
Yes, the alcohol is exact. Speaking of which, we have this great bottle of Gentleman
well,
Jack.
Yeah, well, might as well just kill it from where
Do
it's
you
left
want to
there.
do that really? Isn't that irresponsible for us to be
Absolutely.
drinking? There's no guests in the studio. There's nobody in the studio. Are we really just going to go to this? That is irresponsible to just drink. You have to have a reason.
It's a celebration. We're
No.
celebrating coming off it's Cyber Monday.
No.
Yep.
No.
All right.
Well, I got a better one, though.
What's that?
Say I'm not against it. I just got to have a good reason.
It sounds like you're against it.
No, how about we do a taste test between this stuff that Money Man got us, this fantastic.
You know, I felt that we didn't get to play this enough last week. So.
Just a gratuitous hit of the Black Friday sound effect. Just to hear it.
You know, I left it in the slot in the
do you know
player.
why? No, listen, let's go on this. Let's go. You know why? Because it's artwork, man. That thing is a piece of art. I made it. It's great. I'm very proud of it. You go ahead and hit it again. Let's just all enjoy this because it's so accurate. Using the tools that were available to me, I created that piece of radio art. Thank you for enjoying it. That's another one. So
you didn't create that one.
No, that was Clint Boyer. And I just watched a special where they showed his win and they showed this interview. And these are
was
iconic.
That today? Because I felt like if I saw something on that,
these are iconic moments. Let's hope Clint Boyer goes on and wins a championship.
Oh my goodness, we would only be so lucky to be here to witness that.
Really?
I believe so.
Oh man!
I mean, because if we had to wait till as long as we did for Joy, I can't imagine for Clint.
Oh, what? Yeah, no, he would be celebrating like
that's
a
what
maniac.
I'm saying. Like he might never make it to the interviews.
No, I guess not. What about little Giovanni? Is he still excited about that moment, or is it like erased now? With little kids,
look, first of all, it's a child. You know, they are an emotional roller coaster, and hence has made my life.
That was one of our greatest accomplishments.
Well, I think he might be one of my greatest accomplishments. Period. What are you talking about?
That is definitely true. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. So I'm thinking, you know what? What is this us? I'm the one that had to do with this stuff.
Yeah, you have all the responsibility.
It was that one time I threw it down.
I only get to have the fun, hanging out, and then what do they say? Sugar them up and hand them back.
Yeah, give them the toys that make the noise and send them back home. I
get
it, yes.
Well, speaking of that, Christmas is coming up.
Yep.
Drum kit. I think he's musical,
he is
right?
Musical.
Right. Get him the drum kit. Get him going.
Yeah.
That or something
to go along with the piano and the guitar.
Exactly. Get him something that gets him up real early. Like a rooster.
Well,
here's your pet rooster.
He already does that part on his own. He doesn't need any help with that one, let me tell you.
I'm kidding.
He is the rooster who is up at the crack of dawn now at this new time that he still, I guess, hasn't gotten accustomed to.
Right.
Whatever. I'm not going to get into it.
No.
But it was a very good week, but it was also like a quick, short week. We spent the whole weekend at the track. He went to school Monday and Tuesday. Of which I checked him out of school very early on Tuesday, right after they had the Thanksgiving celebration thingamajiggy that they did. And Wednesday there was no school, so he was already partying it up Wednesday, watching TV, doing whatever it is that he did all day. And Thursday was the Thanksgiving food feast, fun, football, alcohol-induced coma. And then Friday we hit the Mouse Park. And we didn't actually go to Magic Kingdom. We went to Hollywood Studios.
Went to the Mouse Park.
Yes.
That's right.
It wasn't actually the Mouse Park, even though the Mouse owns this one. We went to Hollywood Studios.
And you hated it.
I didn't hate it, but, first of all, it was crowded, but not as crowded as some of those Christmases that I've spent there, or New Year's, or whatever time of the year.
Hollywood Studios.
Over all these things. But yeah.
Isn't that where Star Wars Land is going to be?
It is, but they
How's
definitely
the progress
need to
on
open that
Star
place.
Wars
It looks
Land?
great. I took a couple of snapshots over the fence there. I'll show you. If you want to put them up there.
Leaked
for
shots,
the
that's great.
I don't know that it's leaked. I mean, it's open for anybody.
Spy shots.
Yes. Okay, yes. It was my my spy shot moment.
Spy shots. You stuck the camera over the fence. There's going to be a knock at the door any second.
Yeah, and while the mouse is about to yell at me, I'm sure I could feel it.
Well, they are starting to investigate podcasts like this, by the way. Did you see that story about the poker podcast?
I did see it. I did not,
No, why would you open that one?
Well, I didn't have time to read it. I've been go, running around doing poker action stuff.
I guess, the poker show.
But anyway.
Universal,
so we went to
Universal Music.
Not
Not
Universal.
Universal Music sues poker podcaster. Stay tuned.
Yes. Anyway, Hollywood Studios. They opened up the new Toy Story Land. It's all right, but wasn't worth the whole I don't know. I think they need to do
like
better,
I said, you
a
hated
better
it.
job of sprucing
What's
everything up
different
there.
was the
Well, they have that
Buzz Lightyear
more,
ride?
No, it's a toy. Yes, the ride is still the same.
Okay, so what do they
They
add?
have a new entrance. They have the Slinky Dog roller coaster type ride. I'll show you. I snapped a picture of the Disney worker or whatever it is they call their workers there.
Host?
Cast members. That's what they call them.
Cast members, right.
Holding the sign that says line ends here or something, 135-minute wait.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Only 2
no big
hours
deal.
and 13 minutes?
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And there are people going over there and standing in line, which is beyond my comprehension. I mean, I waited like 20 minutes with a fast pass in that line, but there's no way I'm waiting 2 hours for, pretty much anything. I'm not even waiting past 30, 40 minutes at a restaurant when they tell me that the wait is that long, because I know that after that point, the meal is not going to be, it's going to be compromised. Because I'm not going to be happy, because by the time I eat, it's an hour from now, which means that the restaurant's busy, so the food quality might not be as best as it's supposed to be. They're trying to rush you in and out. And so, just another one of those quick things where another Geo doesn't deal with and put up with.
No, Geo hates waiting. Geo hates waiting.
Will not wait. Sorry.
No waiting.
No
waiting for anything.
It's just no need to.
Yeah.
Especially, says the guy who needs instant gratification of purchasing things at your fingertip.
Right.
Well, I at least go out into the world, but I'm not willing to wait in line.
What's the difference?
You don't like to go out into the world. I go to the supermarket and I don't buy it through the delivery that the
You'll make effort if it's
delivery
quick.
person will come show it. Or
give me convenience or give me death. It's the same thing.
I have no issues with going to the supermarket or the local place. I just
Their
don't want to wait in line.
Limited selection. And supermarket is a totally different thing. Of course, I go to the grocery store still.
Once in a while.
I haven't used that service in a while. I just haven't got around to it. It's too inconvenient.
Another one of those services I'm really not for. I like the walking around and the whole sensory overload and being able to pick the things I want.
You're just not going to wait.
I'm just not going to wait in line if there's 10 people at the
This
checkout.
is all very cute, the idiosyncrasies of our personalities. But let's get back to you were at Disney.
I was at Disney, and there was a lot of people, and it wasn't terrible. Like I said, we maximized the fast pass situation and went on everything we wanted to. But there's just, I don't know. By the way, now they have that variable pricing.
What's that?
Well, generally speaking, none of this affects us.
Okay, first of all, this is like the worst Disney review ever. Again, typical. 90% negative. Yeah, we went there and it was.
Well, look, I'm sorry. Look, I don't mean to fracture Disney for anyone outside of the country or outside of the state of Florida.
Oh, you're thinking about the commerce.
No. Well,
tourism.
Now that I think about it, to be fair,
the numbers are down at Disney.
No, it's not the number. I believe they're record-breaking numbers anyway, and so are the profits. The mouse is having a ball over there. But to be fair, we go to Disney multiple times a year. So generally speaking, while we don't have the season pass, we get those Florida discount where they have
$79.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. We're not going to get into numbers here.
Why? Because we don't want the out-of-staters to know the discount we get to Disney?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, they generally will give you the 3 days for instead of $100 and whatever they're charging at the time, they'll give it to you for $80, or you could get a 4-day somewhere. I've paid as cheap as $55 a day. It's generally about closer to $60 a day.
Ha, Georgians, you don't get that.
So we'll do that, and we go about 4 times a year. But this time, it was a standalone trip, and I didn't realize this because I didn't pay, and I don't handle these reservations, but apparently the wife got taken over the coals pretty expensive. It was the variable pricing, and she bought it a few months ago, but then when she told her mom about it, and her mom purchased tickets now, her mom's tickets were today's price, which was say $130 versus we paid $110.
Wait a second, is this
so it's airline tickets now?
Adjustable rate mortgage?
I don't know
what is this like?
But it's variable.
You mean
pricing,
I can buy a ticket now? That day it's going to be very crowded.
We've seen it at
$200.
The other sports do this, like the night that insert the New York Yankees come to town.
There's a word for it.
The local team.
There's a word for it. At the sports, there's a word for it.
I thought it was variable pricing, but maybe they have some different one. But nonetheless, so Disney works that way too. Same way that the airlines, that if you buy your ticket on a different day or whatever it is, there might be a different price. Well, this Disney ticket price never goes down. Apparently, it just gets higher and higher as they are. It was a holiday weekend, to be fair. But anyway, those of you outside the state, Disney's great, but now we've gone to Hollywood Studios like every year for the last 4 or 5 years.
I think they call it dynamic pricing.
Whatever, yes.
In sports, when you go to a ball game, like dynamic pricing.
Right.
Continue.
But that's what's going on at Disney now.
But I don't understand.
And those of you who are outside of the state,
what does that mean?
You're free to come over here. What do you mean?
Like she thought she was paying $50 and instead it was $150?
No, we never thought it was $50.
What does it mean?
Like we said, the regular day ticket, that instead of paying $110, it's up to $130 to go on this particular day, which was Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Where normally...
Yeah. I get it.
Like if we wanted to go maybe this weekend or tomorrow, it would be like the cheapest rate. Let's say $100 or whatever.
It's not a flat rate to get into the park every single day. Busier days are more expensive.
Correct.
Yeah.
So at different times of the year, they're charging different prices. That's it. So on the busier days, they might be charging $1,000 just to keep people out. At some point, that's just my exaggerated view of it. But I'm sure that's what's going to lead to.
Or if you're willing to pay the $1,000,
or whatever you're willing to pay. Exactly.
Yeah. How much did you
pay?
So
they're working on
I paid $89. Oh, you have to leave now.
Right. You can't be here with the person that paid $500.
Your time is up.
But anyway, it was a great weekend and all was fun. But I definitely feel that until the Star Wars opens, I'm not going back to Hollywood Studios.
Oh, man. Let me tell you. I agree.
That's all I was saying.
It's neat looking.
Now, if you haven't been there in years, go right ahead.
I feel like there's nothing there.
We go every year, and now I've gone I think we even went twice on one year because of the whole kid wanting to do that.
He loves the Buzz Lightyear ride, and
yes,
that's it.
And
he wants to do it over and over again.
Bad adjective to describe it, but
everybody was telling me that Disneyland is better than Disney World when I was out west.
That I don't believe.
They
Did
were
you
all
go?
No.
First of all,
really,
it's tiny.
By myself,
like I can't even believe that because have those people been out here to the Disney World?
They claim that they did. They claim that it's soulless. I talked to 3 different people about this.
Huh?
Yeah,
like gingers.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what they said, and that I should go, and I'll see right away, and I'll notice, and all that, and maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. I didn't have time to go to Disney while I was out there. That's an all-day thing. If I'm going to go to Disney, I want to do it right.
That's what you think, but if the park is small, you'll be in and out like going to Animal Kingdom.
like going to
3 hours.
Like going to the grocery store.
Yeah, just the drive-thru.
Animal Kingdom, there's another one that there's nothing going on really there.
No, well, that one's cool. It's got the snow.
Yeah, that one, the snow.
The snow, abominable snowman ride.
The Matterhorn or whatever.
Whatever it's called. You understood exactly what I meant.
I know what you meant. Expedition Everest.
There you go. Mount Everest is what I was thinking, too.
That's what it's called.
See how easy I
So in the end, it was a good time. And you came back when? Sunday?
Sunday.
Well, good stuff. Did we?
I can complain about the drive, too, if you really want.
No. I don't think so. Did we complete our Formula One final discussion?
I believe we did.
Or is it going to be something that just kind of continues on through the off season?
I think that, as news is released in whatever form of racing it is that interests us, we'll get into it.
I
mean, what more is there to say? Lewis dominated 111 out of 21 races.
What
Ferrari,
about Kubica coming back? That's silly season.
That. I think
he's back, man. No, it's happening.
He is, but I just don't see that he could be expected. What could be expected? That's it. With all these younger guys, he's been gone all this time. The injury, comeback of the year, what have you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that they're going to go. It seems like a very against Formula One move. Like to go with this older guy who's, I hate to say it, damaged goods. That's cruel. And he went through a horrific crash. They're giving him an opportunity. It's amazing. It's going to be a very interesting story. It is going to be the 3rd most interesting story of motorsports in 2019. Prediction right there. Kimi's final race, Ferrari. Kimi he never was able to put it together. Vettel interviewed on the track right there next to Lewis. I felt like they had a genuine moment, little mutual respect. Vettel could have handled it a little bit better, but it was okay. And then that's it. Grosjean got a point to end it all off. I felt like that was pretty exciting too. And now we got the same drivers back next year, going back after it under a totally different rules package. Alonso, gone.
Bye.
Retired.
Well, he's coming to race IndyCar.
Yeah, absolutely.
The new McLaren IndyCar team.
I know. That's kind of cool and exciting.
I agree.
Welcome, Fernando. And did the whole driver swap thing with Jimmy Johnson. Which was...
How about that? Way to segue.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually. Listen, they're tuned in to hear entertainment. And as long as we get there eventually, they're on board. And even when we don't. A lot of cool sound effects coming out of... There's a story on ESPN.com, which basically all they did was post all the McLaren tweets. One thing about this, I don't feel like it was... they could have made a much bigger deal out of it. This was kind of like I feel private. It feels like a private thing. Or they just wanted to put it out on their own channel. I don't know. But the Montoya Gordon one had a TV show.
May not be as loud as they once were, but they still sound good.
No, that is the old car.
Aha, you see, look at that.
That is the last of the V8-powered cars. And so that's why it sounds so awesome. And everybody has been saying exactly that. And then Alonso pulling out in Jimmy's car. How great is that? That's Alonso and Jimmy's car. And they said that they both did very well, that everybody was surprised. And they ended up doing donuts at the end, and it's a really cool thing. But,
Sounds like fun.
But what's funny is that it looks like Alonso, like Jimmy, his helmet started to fly off. Like the aerodynamics were not correct, and his helmet started to, pull off the top of his head. And so they had to come back in and build, a little windscreen. And Alonso was having a lot of trouble with the steel brakes and the heavy car and the big power. He's like, man, the tires just spin, through second, third gear. They're just spinning. What do I do? Do I, just go with the spin, or do I, try to control the throttle? And he was getting after it. He said at the end of the day, though, he was still not totally up to speed. But I like the fact that they did it. I like these kind of things. Jimmy Johnson, if he went to Formula One tomorrow and spent all off season, training and doing all that stuff, could he be out there, running middle of the pack? I think he could.
I think he could. I think if he was, 10 years ago, he could definitely have done
he's
considerably
too old now.
better. But, he's in his 40s already, so that's something to consider.
Well, the next Jimmy Johnson that comes around, I hope that Gene Haas can, make a play.
Absolutely.
Like a real talented American kid who isn't necessarily coming out of that world. Give him the opportunity to go out there and get the job done. It's very interesting.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, Formula One year, pretty much, we had a little fun this year. We had some fun.
Especially the first half of the year. It's just Lewis turned up the heat in the second half.
He's good, man. That's it. That's in the end. It's like, what do you say about Lewis Hamilton? And there are people who hate him, which I don't get at all. He's done nothing to make anybody hate him. He's just his own person, his own personality.
Yeah, that seems unnecessary.
The taking off the shirt, I can see that really rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. To reveal, I got this big back tattoo, and I want you guys.
I don't know that.
It rubbed me a little bit the wrong way, too. I'm not saying I loved that. That's behavior that I'm not so into. Publicly taking off the shirt and exposing a big back tattoo and asking people to spray me with champagne.
Come on, man. Really?
Yeah. I just feel like that's... But then again, when I score, do something great, I run around and take my shirt off like I scored a goal. That's what they do. The international sports. When you do something big, you take your shirt off.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. If I look like that, I would probably be without a shirt 90% of the time.
Interesting angle. Maybe that's why I can't relate.
Exactly.
I'm not taking my shirt off.
Because we're
not in good
we
shape.
We have no reason to take off our shirt.
Because you're fat.
If I was so inclined and that kind of person, I wouldn't even take off my shirt at the beach or the pool. But since I really don't care,
you'd be the kid
and I'm shameless,
you'd be the kid
I'd take it right off.
The kid with the T-shirt.
No, I wouldn't be. I mean, that's the whole point. That since I really don't care, I don't have to be the kid with the T-shirt. But maybe I should be the kid with the T-shirt.
No, you should definitely be the kid with the T-shirt.
Or the grown-up with the T-shirt.
Definitely.
I mean, I'm not like those guys that need a man's ear by any means, but...
The shameless guy on the beach. We're talking about that guy now. Is that guy a cool guy because he's so free and confident? Or is that guy a not cool guy because he's so free and confident?
Well, it all depends.
Well, I'm asking you.
It all depends on the whole. It's not just it's got to be the whole look.
When I'm old
like,
and
gross,
I kind of like the idea that I can go out there and bake on the beach and be mostly naked.
Well, I thought you were asking about the guy that's without the shirt everywhere.
Oh, well,
like
listen,
Lewis Hamilton.
We in our culture,
there's a whole thing.
You cannot go into a store without a shirt on.
Well, okay, I agree.
So for Lewis to be without a shirt,
to be fair, if you're covered in tattoos, doesn't it kind of look like if you have a shirt on? Huh? Just saying.
Okay.
I'll
give you that. That sounds reasonable. If you have tattoos, it's like you have a shirt on.
And not just a couple. I mean, completely covered, because he does appear to be completely covered in tattoos.
At least the back. A lot of tattoos. But then again, I'm not big into the whole tattoo culture either. I know some people are.
Ooh.
Yeah, look at Gio making a face like I touched the third rail. Don't talk tattoos, man. You'll alienate everybody. No, you're right that the tattoo people, they are very sensitive to the anti-tattoo people's judgments.
Yeah, I'm not judging.
No, but
I wouldn't cover my body with all that crap. Ink is what I meant. That's poisonous and stuff, I'm sure.
Just the whole thing, man. I talked to a lot of people, and
I don't like needles, man. Also, that's another thing. I know
many
it's not
layers.
the same kind of needles as
needles.
I'm thinking, but
needles, strangers,
but
pain, paying money.
By the way, it takes a long time.
Pain.
Yeah.
Expense. They're not cheap.
Not at all.
And now people are getting...
Unless you get the jailhouse ones.
Yeah, and now... We sound so old, and now people are getting them on their face and their neck.
Oh yeah, like the Mona Lisa on your forehead. That sounds like a great idea.
All kinds of stuff, and words. The words are very popular. Not just one word or two words.
That just looks like graffiti at some
point. Like the Bill of Rights is on there.
What have we done now?
I saw a girl the other day with like a long paragraph on her leg. And, I'm not against it. It's just like, to me, it's like, oh, wow, this is kind of...
I draw the line there. I've seen some of these girls on the social media that are all tatted up, and they look great.
Of course they look great.
I'm willing to overlook any level of art, of amount of art on some of these.
Did I make it sound like I was against adventurous people? Of course not. I'm all for it. I'm interested in exploring and exploration and learning about other people's attitudes about life. I watch Parts Unknown. I just watched the season finale. I'm all into the new thing, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm not traveling anywhere.
Yeah.
Other than outside. I mean, I meant anywhere outside of the country.
Outside of the state of Florida.
No, that I'm willing to leave. I'm just not willing to leave the country. I mean, and I want to go to Alaska, and I've been to Hawaii, and it's so far that I don't know that I'll ever go back.
Wow.
Hawaii.
That's what?
But I know, I'm sure the kid eventually is going to want to go, and we got to go show him that.
So Hawaii?
Yeah.
We got friends there. We know people. WFO, we got WFO listeners out there in Hawaii. No, the Alaskan cruise is something that's interesting. That is something that's interesting. Cool stuff. I saw a commercial for Viking Cruises.
I'll wait till the ice melts a little bit more so it's not so cold.
From what they're saying, that's not long.
No,
you won't have long to wait.
Yeah,
won't have long
next
to
summer
wait.
maybe.
But that sounds interesting. See, me, on the other hand, I travel a lot.
Yeah, but you're not leaving the country. When was the last time you left the country? Never.
No, I left the country in 2003.
All right, well.
2002.
Okay, exactly.
It was just yesterday. I went to Canada.
Wow.
That's it. I've only been to Canada and Mexico briefly. And not even real Mexico.
Not even the islands?
Not even real. No. No.
No, you never been to the island? Like none
Zero.
of those? Like
Bahamas?
Jamaica, none
No.
of those?
No.
Oh, the whole Caribbean.
Well, I went on a cruise
Okay,
once,
but
so I did go to Jamaica. But that's, I don't really consider going on a cruise.
Well,
that's why
'cause
Mexico
you didn't
doesn't
stay
even
there
count.
at all. You just kind of went on, got off for like an hour or two and got back on the boat.
I went on an excursion, yeah. You
Right,
go, you hang out during the day. That barely counts. You got to go. I went to Toronto, and I enjoyed it. It was great. I'd love to go to Italy. I'd like to look
Toronto's
around.
great. It's like New York City.
But
much
you
cleaner.
got to do it. You got to do 10. The subway was so clean. I was like, wow, they have material on their seats so the people can be comfortable and the people will not ruin the material.
I will say,
here
though,
they will take it and
I have a warning from going to Toronto. Careful if you order a bacon cheeseburger. They'll plop a slice of ham right on top of that thing.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. But if you're expecting bacon, like the strips of bacon like we do here, like Applewood
Canadian
smoked
bacon.
And then you realize that they gave you a slab of Canadian bacon, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not accustomed to having this on my burger.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to warn the audience out there. I'm sure Mike, Race Guitar, is accustomed to dealing with this. But I think you have to, I don't know if you have to say.
I bet it's been years
I want
since.
the other bacon. Or specify the non-Canadian bacon or something, Applewood smoked bacon kind of stuff, in order to get what you want.
American bacon.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they.
I wonder if that's what they call it.
That's what I'm wondering too.
Royale with cheese.
Absolutely.
Well, this edition of Traveling the Globe, I was telling Elephant Racers we should do a travel podcast.
Well,
Or
here
at
it
least-
is. And you waited for him to leave.
You
to
know,
bring
you
all
don't
this
have
up.
any status. Me and he have status.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
We are status. In fact, I got my Platinum Pro card today. Finally.
Oh my goodness! Look, speaking of going to the Caribbean,
WFO, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, Joe, it's Mike. How's it going?
There he is. Hey, Mike.
it's like I summoned you.
Let me ask you, what do they call American bacon in Canada?
Bacon.
Bacon. Well, what about the Canadian
have-
bacon?
Canadian bacon doesn't exist in Canada.
What's it
It's
called?
just ham.
It's called ham.
Ham. Yeah.
Well, when I went to Toronto and I ordered a bacon cheeseburger, they plopped that slice of ham on it, and I forgot about that. Now, mind you, I eat Canadian bacon with my breakfast, so I should have known better.
So you eat ham with your breakfast?
Yeah. Like during the week, yeah, I can't have
What's
bacon every
the
day.
difference between ham and Canadian bacon?
I just think it maybe the cut of the slice or something. Ham is like thin, and the Canadian bacon is like a quarter inch or so.
You can get a ham steak that's half-inch
Yeah,
thick.
it's kind of like the ham steak, I would say,
Huh.
but it's not as thick as the ham steak, right, Mike? What do you know over there?
Yeah, figure it out,
You
Mike.
you're Canadian.
You're the
Mike.
Canadian. What's up with that?
I live in Canada.
No, well, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a quarter inch. I'd say it's about an eighth of an inch.
Okay, there you go. How about that?
I love how Mike is real quick. He's like, "Hey, I live in
you idiot.
Canada. I live in Canada. I'm American."
I don't know, Mike. You know, birds of a feather.
Yeah, don't make it seem like there's something wrong with Canadians, okay? Because I know a
No,
whole
no,
bunch
no,
of
no,
them,
no.
and they're my great
very-
friends.
I'm married to one, so it's all cool.
All right.
Oh, sleeping with the enemy, huh?
So we've been all over the map here on this program, and I'm loving it.
As you can imagine, off-season madness.
This is very fun for me, and we have touched on many different subjects. What do you bring to the table?
Oh, I just wanted to know before we go any further, did Haas F1 get disqualified after they had a good finish again?
I have
No,
not seen
there was
any
no
news yet.
new Haas F1 rule this week,
The review board has said everything is okay,
as far as we know.
as far as we know.
Good.
It is
that was
only
a pretty
Monday,
good
to be fair, though.
Yes. Well, the final
all right,
points
so
that
you-
puts them and no matter what happens, they're not going to get fourth, and they're not going to fall back to sixth, and so it doesn't even matter. They're locked in fifth position in the constructors in 2018, their third year. Unbelievable outcome, finishing ahead of McLaren, Force India, and the rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should all
Absolutely.
stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Now that Gio is bringing up the Canadian thing, I feel like maybe we should conduct the rest of the interview in French.
If you can do that, I would love to hear you speak French. I certainly
Mais
can.
oui, j'habite au Québec. Of course, je parle en français.
Parlez-vous Francais?
Yeah, what about
Si vous avez toujours besoin.
Non.
You have to say "we" like a French duck. Why?
There's one of the languages. Like, I would love to know how to speak French. You're very successful. People love it. We have a lot of racers from north of the border. They speak French. We had a lot of drag racing fans at the Auto Club finals. We had a lot of French gentlemen out there hanging out.
What do they think about the nickname Frogs, though?
They hate it. What do you mean? It's a slur. What are you talking about? Right?
That depends on who. Some of my French friends, they embrace it. For instance, who was that? Doucette. Jerry Doucette? A long time ago, he used to
Toby
run
Wong?
an alcohol funny car.
Let's
that he bought. That he had frogs all over it. It was just like a kind of his thing.
Oh, really? Okay,
But yeah, you have. I laugh every time. By the way, when you guys are in the on the East Coast and there's a bunch of Quebec drivers, I laugh every time with you, Brian, Alan, whoever calls their names. It's the greatest.
Why? Because we're blowing it. We're messing them up.
Yeah. Like Gerard Millet.
Yeah.
You guys have a way of saying his name like it's like, oh, wow.
Millet.
Or Francois Piard, or Luc Angers.
Angers.
Hey, here's Luc Angers.
Yes. Well, we started off. We ended up getting back to Angers. Millet, I would call him Millet for a while, and then I was told it's Millet. And then when you go up to New England and you got those same French names, except they grew up in America, and Brian's like, oh, pretend they're American kids that don't want to be confused for French kids. And so if it's like, Du Bois.
Oh, like Rico Abreu.
Yes, exactly. And Gio making his racial slur, not even racial, like national. Ethnic slur earlier also applies to folks down here in the Hispanic community. There are terms that are, I'm not going to use them.
What did Gio say before?
It's frog.
Ribbit, like Kermit.
I'm not going to talk about all that stuff, but if I was talking about the Italians, then I could say, wops and, all those.
Right, and the fact that we live down here amongst the pigs.
Exactly. That's how you have to navigate this very challenging
Some
situation.
of us are allowed to say things that others aren't.
Exactly.
like Seinfeld and the Jewish humor, remember?
Absolutely.
The anti-dentite.
Just for the jokes.
Listen, you hear that? That's people tuning out.
Yeah. Well,
honestly,
I think they tuned out a long time ago on this show. On this one. They never got to this. They never got to this, Mike. They're gone. It's
gone
you.
Already.
Seriously, it's you to hear yourself. It's Elephant Racers. I don't know who else. Maybe Jay Seelig is out there. I don't know. We got
listening. Brian.
Oh yeah,
Craig's listening.
Probably. Hopefully, we can reach beyond the core audience, and put
this
forth
off season.
Yes, but we've
Sorry,
still
just to circle around for a second, back to the second language with French. You're exactly right about opening doors, because when my kid brother was enlisted in the Army, in the U.S. Army, based. I'm pointing, you can't see it, but based right down here in Plattsburgh, he actually got extra pay because he could speak French.
Of course. It only makes sense. He's got many different things he can do. Communication is one of the most important elements of life, is that we can communicate.
Yeah.
Like I'm bitter a little bit deep down that I only speak one language. And my father spoke Italian, but we didn't learn it in the house because it was like a high priority for your kids to be, American, and who needs that old language from the old world? That's you're not going back there. You're here in America. We learn English, and guess what? I know English. I don't know Italian though.
Yeah.
Do you know how cool it would be to know Italian? Oh my God.
No, absolutely.
I'm sure it could have helped your life out as a teenager.
Oh yeah, with the women. To speak a
know,
little Italiano, it'd be over.
Do you know how many times I wind up at the border helping out guys trying to cross into the U.S. side who can't speak English, so they're struggling to figure out what the border guy's trying to tell them? And it's like, okay, here's the thing.
Why don't you become the French NHRA drag racing
expert?
Because I can do it, but I almost never do, simply for the sake of 90% of my week I'm driving around in the U.S. I don't use it enough. If I used it weekly or daily, that would be different, but I don't use it enough. It's so rusty.
Got it. Now I understand.
Even le petit peu je parlais en avant, just 15 minutes ago, je connais déjà mon accent terrible. I know that my accent is terrible already when I'm just saying it like that. I'm hearing it and I'm going,
it doesn't sound
oh my
that
God.
terrible to me.
No,
Your
it sounded
words are
pretty,
right, but your
pretty
accent.
bad. I heard an accent. I heard all of that. That was good, though. I liked listening to that. I heard you say something was horrible. I heard the word horrible. That's really all I got.
Yeah,
something's horrible.
My accent, that's all.
He sounds like
But you know
Jerry's
what?
French
Anyway,
cousin.
We're not.
Alouette.
We're going to be banned.
Oh, boy.
No, nothing we've said will get us fired from anywhere. We're still good.
That's true.
It's all good.
Awesome.
It's all good.
All right. Well, anyways, I got to roll this truck. I'm behind schedule, and I'm trying to outrun the snow.
Aren't you
But
always?
I just wanted to say that was a great interview with Brian last week. If anyone hasn't heard it that listens to Ignition, you should definitely go back to Nitro last week and give it a listen.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I feel like I totally muffed it. Not that I muffed it, but
No.
I talk to Brian all the time. Like Brian is someone I speak to, and I know the answers to many of these questions already. And, it feels weird asking him, getting him to say stuff that I've heard the answers to many times and, know them in advance. And so it was challenging. I wanted to make it a very, initial interview so people understand and get to know him, where he's coming from, his background, his passion for the sport, why it's going to be good. But there were so many other things I could have asked him, but I could have had him on for a long time. And so I'm sure those things will happen in the future.
No, I figured that. Like, obviously, you work with the guy, week in and week out, 23 weekends a year. So obviously, you've had a chance to speak with him, so you know everything he's going to be saying. Which is why, I would love, and this is a similar topic, I suppose, I would love a Reinhardt WFO Nitro interview, because I know who Alan is. I kind of know that he's had his toe in pro stock for a while. I believe that he raced himself before, but I don't know his full story. You probably do.
Well,
which would make the interview similar to the Brian Loans interview.
Well, actually, the only reason that we don't do something like that is because we have done that in the past, actually a couple of times. But your point, but your point is taken in that. We did it certainly on XM satellite radio when we first started doing the thing, like introduction to Alan Reinhardt. Who are you? How you get here? How'd you get to NHRA? And he has told the story. And then once we switched to WFO podcast, we did it again and reintroduce Alan Reinhardt, and have actually done it, a few times over the years. But you got to understand that this is the 10th year of WFO radio. Right. And of course, we've got new listeners that we didn't have in year 2 or year 4. And so we should definitely be doing these things again. But naturally, when I'm thinking about it, sometimes I don't go there because of that reason. But I point taken. I think we can definitely do something like that. And I know Reinhardt would love to do it.
Yeah, like I said, I value his judgment like I do yours and Brian's on the mic. Excuse me. But I don't know, his – I kind of know his background, but I don't know it in full detail. Like, I don't – what did he race, if he did race himself, which I believe he
raced.
Did.
Alan Reinhardt raced. He raced back in the day at, in Tucson and then around that area. Yeah. Actually won. Yeah. Super Street or Hot Rod at an IHRA national event, from what I understand. And so he has had that's a big accolade, man. You win a national event in a category, like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
And this week on the show, we ended up, talking about my own bracket racing thing. Steve Torrance going to be on NHRA Nitro, by the way. Steve Torrance, along with Frank Aragona Jr., Comp Eliminator world champ, and probably RacingRVs.com top sportsman champ Ronnie Proctor, and Bobby Bennett about his recent column about Pro Stock.
Marble column.
I don't want to talk about Steve Torrance. That whole situation is depressing.
Which part of it?
Oh, man. The guy just had what, like I said to you before, or what I tweeted, probably the story of the decade in motorsports with what he just accomplished. And I know we could go and argue. We could talk about Don Prudhomme and Bob Good and whatever. This is now. That run, that streak was unbelievable. And already it's out of the news.
It's the number one. It's not, though. It's not. We're talking about it on WFO, man. This is it. This is the heartbeat of motorsports right here that everyone's listening to. This is why they log on. They hear the nonsense, but every once in a while they get a great nugget like this. And that's why they keep coming back, and they write reviews on iTunes and download the app and buy from our sponsors from the holidays. Because of moments like this, Race Guitar, it's still going. Torrance is going to be on. We're going to talk about it. And between you and me, he's going to address the issue that you bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
out of nowhere.
Good.
Because like, hey, man, like, where are you going to be? And he goes, and we get into it. And it's a sad thing.
Good.
It's a sad thing. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Well,
and as much as there's been growth and that this is an area that they're not growing. Not yet.
Yeah. No. We've spoken about it before off air, but yeah.
And for those that don't understand the coded language between Race Guitar and myself, we're talking about some sort of non-endemic media tour, some sort of outside of the drag racing media celebration of this man's accomplishment and this team's accomplishment. Earlier in the show, Race Guitar, we were talking about, the top motorsports moments of 2018, and I put Steve Torrance's, to me, this is the biggest single accomplishment ever in the history of drag racing as far as competition, not car performance. Going 300 or breaking an ET barrier. This is it. They swept the countdown. They set the bar. This is it for the generations to come. They should be singing songs about Steve Torrance and Capco. This is a big deal, and people are acting like it's not, or don't know what to do with it. I don't know, but we're gonna drive this thing into the freaking ground, man. This is the biggest thing that ever happened. It's Joe DiMaggio's hit streak.
I think it was Steve who put it the best. People can tie it, but they can never beat it.
That's a Miami Dolphins thing. Just so you know, we started that down here. That's where that thing can never be beaten, can only be tied. That belongs to us.
Awesome.
Miami Dolphins. Good. Perfect season. Shula.
Good. Well,
Bob Greasy.
It applies to Steve, so great job.
Zonka. It does. And that is why I relate so much to this, because perfection is such a unique thing in our world, in our culture. Like these bracket races and stuff, and the comp races, or super comp races. You can be perfect, and we never ever see it, and it happened.
And by the way, to go back to this again, anyone who hasn't heard last week's night show, go back and listen not only to the Brian Logan, go listen to Joe's My Time at the end to hear how truly astounding the feat that Steve Torrance just put together was.
I want them to go listen.
You broke down those numbers unbelievably well.
Thank you very much. I actually did some research and effort. I mapped all 48 runs that they made during the countdown. I felt like it deserved, and I have the notes right here.
It did.
If you wanted me to know,
when you put it in that language, the way you put it, I was like, this should be on everybody. This should be on ESPN, whatever.
Yes.
All the big.
Well, Fox Sports sports show, is it on there? I don't know. Is it on there?
Yeah.
Is Fox Sports showing? Like, this is something that we need to get to the bottom of when, they have a regional, what we would call a Sports Center style show. Like, what's the name of it, Gio?
Yeah.
Fox Sports 1's sports style show.
The best damn sports show, period?
Sports night. I don't know. Sports.
They don't have, I don't think
show.
they have those highlight shows anymore. They
got rid of those?
away from it. They went to like the screaming talking heads type.
Well, anyway, it should be, if the show is on Fox Sports 1, and it's a general sports show where they talk sports, this should have definitely been a talking point. Like, do you care about this? Is it interesting? Maybe someone would say no, but they would have to respect the perfection. And that's why it should be pushed out there. Yeah. Well, thank you for caring.
All right. Well, anyways, I got to roll the truck, so I'll let you guys go for the time being.
All right.
It was good to talk to you.
Yes.
Let's get the off-season kicked off right.
Roll the truck, baby.
Bye.
All right, guys.
Later.
WFO, guys.
WFO. Race guitar. Yeah. Good call.
It could have been on First Things First or Skip and Shannon or...
Skip and Shannon. Why is Skip Bayless not talking about Steve Torrance?
Colin Cowherd.
Well, exactly.
But that's all they have. They have those talk shows. I don't think now they have a gambling show during the day. Yeah, this gambling thing. I don't know. Amazing. All of a sudden, it's like so popular everywhere.
Look, see, prohibition doesn't work, man. Prohibition doesn't work. It's got to come above board. Nobody was gambling, and now all of a sudden, everybody's gambling.
Absolutely incredible how they just created this market out of thin air for all this gambling.
Who knew that this was fun? That people like to win money on sports? What a shocker. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Now, the Torrance thing has got me a little bit wound up. He's great. I really genuinely like Steve.
So what is he doing? He's doing
There's
Letterman
a personal
and Carson,
connection.
and he's going to all the late-night talk shows. And
I don't want to kill the Nitro show right now.
all right.
Carson.
It was a
Carson.
joke. Come on.
He should be on Letterman.
I know that the guy.
He should be on Letterman.
That
he
Tonight
should be
Show.
on Kimmel.
Kimmel.
He could totally be on Kimmel.
Yeah.
He's got the character to be on. All right, if not Kimmel, then Conan could definitely be on Conan.
Oh, like the late night show.
And any of those shows, on some sort of show. He needs to go on some sort of show and be interviewed and talk and show the highlight. Like, this guy goes 300 miles per hour for a living.
He can go on with Jimmy Fallon. Why not?
Yes, of course. He could. But, there's hurdles to entry.
I'm sure.
Now, what the hurdles are and how they're managed and stuff, that's not something I can possibly know. But it is interesting. And, I've got a National Dragster column that's due at the end of the week.
Yesterday?
No, nah. You know me so well. That's right, kids. Get out in front of it. I was the kid who always waited to the last day to do my report. And here I am, 40 years later, still same deal. Waiting to the last second. I knew this Dragster column is due. I knew it. I was busy. I was doing my own things. I was having fun.
Well, you were doing research on what may or may not potentially column be about.
As it turns out, yes. And they are symbiotic. I have the results in the relationship.
I know how these things work.
Well, look, you can see I did all this work, man. Look at this. I wrote
notes.
2 pages worth of numbers and statistics.
It looks like a binary code to me.
It is.
All I see is
I did.
Lines and circles.
I wrote the ET of every run. I wrote the mile per hour of every run. I wrote the reaction time of every run. I wrote whether or not he left first against his opponent every run. I wrote down the initials of the opponent every run. I wrote down something that I have no idea what it is.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Yes. What is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of.
Oh, was he quicker?
Yeah, you see.
Was he quicker
when you
or
have
not?
To translate your own handwriting, isn't that kind of
Yes,
terrible?
Since we're telling all the little kids out there, work on 2 things, kids. Serious. 1, your penmanship. You really need to write clearly.
Do you even need that anymore?
Yes.
Does that even matter? Don't you just take notes into your device?
Well, the voice recognition software is definitely coming around the corner. And the next thing I was going to tell them is keyboard literate, man. You got to be able to pound those keys.
Oh, you got to type. Yeah,
you got to type. You got to type. I can't type. I mean, I find a way, and it's okay. And but it takes me so long. I'm like, can't do it.
Yeah, you've
struggling.
Got mittens on.
It is like, click, 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 click. I just know I should be able to communicate quicker. I'm keyboard illiterate is what it is.
Oh, no. You see, at least I know where I'm supposed to put my fingers in.
No, I got my fingers.
I work on it and
pushing these buttons. Like,
I have gotten considerably faster the more I type.
I'm ham-handed.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And it's not my fault. I was, during typing. I had a cast.
I can imagine.
I had a cast on during typing.
Wow. It was like a stranger.
7th grade. And I couldn't type. And so I wasn't into it.
So it was like having a mitten on.
It was. And that's why I can't type. This sad moment in Joe's life is brought to you by Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com. Get over it. Buy a pound of coffee and get some hot sauce and some spice rub. Marvin Rodak. I also wrote whether or not they aborted the run. I wrote down whether the opponent aborted the run. I wrote down whether or not they had lane choice. And what lane they were in. And margins of victory and stuff. Just to kind of get to the bottom of, to see if there was a pattern. And I picked up a couple of things I hit Steve with. Like, one, that he won the first and last race in the final round against Tony Schumacher. I think that's of interest. This immortal season could not really have come against, unless he beat Antron in the final round of a couple of races, his buddy. But who better to beat than Tony Schumacher if you're making a statement about greatness? Just so many moments. So many moments. And listen to NHRA Nitro to hear all about it.
The full-on report?
The full-on report. Exactly. All right, what else do we have? We're not even done yet. We did this.
I thought we were very. Oh, okay. I guess not.
No.
What do you
want to wrap it up?
No.
Well, I got this great story, end of season goodbyes 2018 edition, all the things that are going to be changing in NASCAR.
We might as well, because
at
this time next week we'll have, the Alder Direction drive will have been kicking and we will never get back to this.
It's funny. Well, Gio is going to ask me all these questions about me going racing, and he's just never gone back to it. I was all excited to talk about it.
He never went back to your race.
He wants to end the show.
You're very. No,
this has all been a case test. We've all tested this. No, it's okay. End of season goodbyes 2018 NASCAR edition. This is by Steve Lovender.
NASCAR.
Lovender. And I'm just going to read some of them. There's 28 photos. I don't know if I'm going to read all 28.
Is that like lavender with you?
Lovender. Yeah, I guess. I think it's a pseudonym. It's not real. When the checkered flag flew at Homestead Miami Speedway on Sunday, not only did we crown a new champion, it also marked the last time we'll see a few people and things in NASCAR, some well publicized and some you may not have realized. I think this is an interesting story. Okay? This is interesting. Per the 2019 NASCAR rules, drivers will no longer have the ability to make track bar adjustments from inside their cars, a feature implemented in 2015. That's changing. Do you care? No. Nobody cares. So that's okay. Next. Beginning in 2019.
It probably won't change the racing that we see, right?
Well, you don't know anything
we don't know
what's
what
happening.
The heck they're doing anyway.
No. Beginning in 2019, a new baseline rules package replaces cars' current configurations at most tracks over a mile in length, a project aimed at improving competition. The old package, which used a larger tapered spacer, made its final laps in Miami. Ooh, exciting. They're trying to make the racing better. The way they're doing it, though, I don't know. We'll see. The Ford Fusion, which made its first NASCAR laps in 2006, will be replaced by the Mustang in 2019. The Fusion went out on top, however, winning its first and final championship in 2018 with Joey Logano and Team Penske. Wow, think about that. The Fusion won its first and final championship. It's been around since 2006 because Brad Kay was in a Dodge when he won for the captain.
2006 was not a championship for the Ford, though.
That's why this is the first and final. It's first and final, not the first.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's first.
I thought you were insinuating that it got bookended with championships.
No, this is its first and only and final.
I misunderstood. No big deal. Happens more often than you think.
No, I'm just going to move on after that.
Yeah, let's just go.
I'm just moving
forward.
Move
along, nothing to see here.
Moving on. General Motors announced it's going to cut 15% of its workforce and close a whole bunch of factories today. Very sad, upsetting, news for the American worker. I know, the shareholders and all of that. Big news story. But it's tied to the loss of popularity of the automobile, something that we've been talking about a lot. People are not interested in the car shape anymore. They like the SUV shape, the crossover shape. I'm not saying I agree or disagree or otherwise. It just is what it is.
Well, we've seen Ford has announced that they're only going to make one car
and
else
Chrysler
SUVs
too.
And trucks.
This is it. And it's sad. Hopefully.
I think it'll change as time progresses and people's tastes change, and eventually then they're going to crave for the classic boxy-looking vehicle car, regular car.
Let me tell you.
Maybe something smaller. Who knows? I think all these things come and go.
I like the SUV. Well, there's many things. The riding high is nice.
Yeah, that really...
Riding
there's
high.
Something about that.
There's something about it. Riding high is nice. Okay. Gas prices, the day that gas prices go back up or something, people are immediately going to be... There's a whole lot of conversation here. Car over SUV. But I can tell you one that I experienced the other day, which was I love having a trunk, a metal sealed trunk, as opposed to an SUV where a criminal can just bash the glass in and take your stuff.
And not just bash the glass, where everything is visible for people
they can
to
just see.
Look inside what you have. Yeah, you'd have to have things hidden somehow.
Exactly. That's one of the problems with the SUV. I noticed that with a rental car when I was in Los Angeles. I had my bag. I got an SUV. I got a Tahoe. I was loving this Tahoe. I'm telling you, man, I want one so bad. It was so great, except for that. Like, oh, man, my suitcase. I got to leave it exposed.
Oh, yeah, you look like a tourist immediately.
No trunk. And so now I'm going to try to get cars, except they don't make cars anymore. They're not making them. They're getting rid of pretty much all the cars, except Corvette and Camaro and the SUVs.
Well, in this case, I believe it's the Volt and the...
Getting rid of the Volt.
The Cruise.
The Eco
the
cars.
Lacrosse. A couple of others.
It's so...
it makes sense. So didn't we the other day
it makes sense, but not really.
The Colorado pickup truck, and we're kind of trying to figure out if that was a big little truck or a little big truck?
Yes, and that's exactly what it is. And I don't know if it's popular or not popular, but there's two. I got two beefs with General Motors since we're on this. One, of the big three, they're the last to realize this, apparently, making this big announcement. And two, if the American public loves these crossovers and SUVs so much, why don't we have two new designs that are being built in these factories? And maybe, instead of we're closing the factories, how about we're switching these factories over to build two different really cool SUVs? How about that? I feel like maybe a lack of foresight, or maybe that's eventually coming, but...
Somewhere else, probably.
Well, the pickup trucks are made in Mexico. Found that out today. I mean, I kind of had heard that.
I was hoping that Fords, I thought.
No?
I thought
General Motors.
My truck was made in Canada.
Your truck is 2 decades old.
Whoa. Come on.
Sorry.
It's not that old.
Sorry.
It's from the previous decade. That's not 2 decades. It's
almost the previous century.
It's from this century.
It's from the aught. It's from Y2K, right?
No, it's not 2000.
Oh.
No.
Back to the story. In celebration of Sonoma's 50th anniversary, the track will return to its original 12-turn, 2.52-mile configuration for the 2019 season, replacing the shortened version.
Oh, I think I like that. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know.
I like it.
I like the thought of it.
Change the tracks, man. Change it. We're used to everything.
Right. That's what I meant.
Too much familiarity. Since Hendrick's rookie hotshot Jimmy Johnson set foot in the 48 in 2002, he's won at least 2 races every season until this year's checkered flag fell at Homestead. The first time ever, the 7-time champ didn't make it to victory lane at some point, ending his streak of 16 consecutive years.
Wow.
With a victory. That's something.
That is. Everything comes to an end.
Perhaps the most successful crew chief and driver pairing in NASCAR history. Chad Knaus, who led Jimmy Johnson, will move to Lord Byron. And Kevin Meendering will pair up with Johnson.
Speaking of everything coming
So Knaus and Jimmy broken up.
Bye-bye. Divorce court.
My prediction is that they're, bold prediction, they're back together by midseason.
Wow.
That's
so
my
not
bold
even
prediction.
The whole year.
Yes, that they're going to say, whoa, wait a second. Starting from scratch is just too much. Let's get back together and figure out how to solve our small problems. They just need a taste of what it's like. Like the old married couple. The grass is greener on the other side.
So no marriage counseling. They went straight to divorce court, but then to divorce court and then realized that it was a mistake.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That is your WFO.
Got out there in the dating world for a few months and then...
got a little problem.
Okay.
A couple of scares here and there.
All right.
And go running right back home. That's exactly right. Mark it down in the book. It's happening. Denny Hamlin stepped into an underperforming number 11 Joe Gibbs racing car in 2005, taking the reins full-time as a rookie in 2006. Since then, he's won at least 1 race each season, an impressive 12-year streak. It closed at Homestead Miami Speedway when the 2018 season ended without a win for Hamlin. Wow, that is pretty big. No wins for Hamlin.
Another guy.
It happens every once in a while. The man whom Denny Hamlin once said, he's my guy, he's going to be my guy till I retire, crew chief Mike Wheeler, splits from Hamlin in the 11 team. The pairing, which yielded 5 wins, made its final laps together in Miami.
I'm sure at some point he doesn't get the choice of whether he wants to keep him or not, right?
Yes. With Matt DiBenedetto going to Levine Family Racing in 2019, his 2-year tenure at Go Fast Racing ended. DiBenedetto scored 3 top 10 finishes for the underdog team. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Levine Family Racing has got Matt DiBenedetto. This guy's definitely milking the stories. 2002 Rookie of the Year, Ryan Newman joined Richard Childress Racing in 2014, nearly winning a title. The 5-year partnership netted a total of 63 top 10 finishes. Newman departs for Roush Fenway Racing, while Daniel Hemrick moves up to the Xfinity Series, from the Xfinity Series to fill the vacancy. So there you go. Daniel Hemrick, who ran for the championship in the Xfinity Series, and Newman going to Roush. Isn't this fun? Daniel Suarez leaving Joe Gibbs. Doesn't say where he's going to be just yet, because we don't know. Going to be somewhere, though. He got money. Nice kid, by the way. Interviewed him in the fan zone. He was super nice. Took time for the fans, signed autographs.
Yeah, I'm glad he had the time to come by this year.
Yes, exactly. After 3 seasons as a crew chief, Roush Fenway Racing's. Now listen, Scott Graves is going to replace Matt Puccia.
Yeah, crew chief, musical chairs.
Exactly. Colorado-based team of Furniture Racing came close to winning the championship, but they're shutting down the team. Okay.
Yeah, close back-to-back, but didn't work out.
Wonder who's buying all that stuff. That's kind of one,
the equipment.
Right. Well, I heard Tommy Baldwin Racing is coming back. This is a great opportunity. You want to get back in, you can get a bunch of A-list equipment, except they are changing all the rules next year. Cole Witt made his final start for TriStar Motorsports, hanging up the helmet at age 27.
Interesting.
Yeah. Matt Kenseth, new driver moving to the team full-time. It appears Kenseth's 6th-place finish at Homestead will be his last hurrah behind the wheel. Yeah, don't count on it. A.J. Allmendinger finds himself without a ride in the 2018 season. The Dinger's plans remain up in the air. Okay. Trevor Bayne. Oh, no, the great Bayne. Carlos is going to be devastated. Hawkins stuff. Will not return to Roush Fenway Racing. It is unlikely Bayne returns to a full-time Monster Energy NASCAR Series ride after 2018. Wow. Lavender just killing the hopes for the Bayne. Just said unlikely. 18-time race winner Casey Kane announced he's hanging up the helmet. Next.
A lot of turnover.
Fox Sports announced the creation of a massive new studio for its NASCAR coverage, which also spells the end of the mobile Hollywood Hotel broadcast studio that was a fixture at the track for many years. There's one.
Also, it's going to be
somewhere. It's called the Massive New Studio.
Right, but
it's not going to be at the track.
Right, on location somewhere in Charlotte or in L.A. or
Longtime radio announcer Joe Moore called his final race at the Homestead Miami Speedway, ending a 35-year career with MRN. You know what? There's one. This is a perfect example of where we're failing. You know, that's an interview we should get. I think we could get. We should do. And something we should be talking about on a more regular basis if we weren't running around like maniacs just to get the show on the air. Like that is someone that, we have listened to and enjoyed, seamlessly, without concern for anything. Just delivered into our ears over and over again at a very high level, professional level. And never once did we, appreciate publicly. Should have. But that's how you know you're great. Right?
I was going to say, that's what happens when you're great and just do your job. You go a little unnoticed.
That's it. That's how you know you're great. But hey, we just made good on it right now. Thanks to Steve Lavender. Mike Wells, director of NBC Sports for nearly 4 decades, directed his final race in 2018. NBC Sports paid tribute to Wells' impressive career, including 21 Emmy Awards during the Talladega Super Speedway race broadcast in October.
Wow.
Yeah. We're on 24 already, guys. Spencer Gallagher is shifting from his driving role to a managerial role with GMS Racing. The 28-year-old announced his decision to retire. Gio, the 28-year-old announced the decision to retire. Yep. But listen, that's a good deal.
Great.
No, when you know that it's time, you jump and make a move. Look, he's going to be the GM. He's going to be the general mangler. While not relevant to the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, it's worth bidding adieu to the Xfinity Series Zombie Dodge. How cool is that? A non-factory supported Dodge race car body. Several low-budget teams purchased old, used Dodge equipment from organizations like Penske, which switched from Dodge to Ford in 2013. The Xfinity Series mandates flange-fit composite bodies beginning in 2019, none of which bear the Dodge name, meaning the end of the road for the vehicle.
Well, that'll do it.
The Zombie Dodge. I like that. And let's see, Brett Moffitt hoisted his final trophy that read Camping World for the NASCAR Truck Series in 2018. Sister company Gander Outdoors takes over the naming rights for the Truck Series beginning in 2019. That's your boy.
Marcus Lemonis.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Why can't I say that?
No, I was thinking something else.
I have no idea what you were thinking. You put the brakes on that so badly and quickly. Like, what could you be talking about? Now my mind is just going crazy. I can't let it go. Your boy.
Yeah, Marcus Lemonis, Miami
Marcus
guy.
Lemonis.
He's a Miami guy, yeah. Went to Columbus, The Prophet.
He's your favorite show, right? Exactly.
Well, I mean,
and
favorite show is a little...
Lowe's is leaving. Final appearance on Lowe's. Goodbye, Lowe's. That's right. So many things, man. Lowe's.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I think they slipped. I think they should have stuck around till as long as Jimmy wanted to stick around.
Absolutely.
I mean, how much longer is he really going to stick around? Probably not too much.
Corporate America, man.
Yep. I think it would have been the right thing to do.
You know, it's not that I'm against corporate America. I understand what it is and that it's necessary and it's part of, capitalist society and we've got all these great things. But at the end of the day, you've created a situation where the only thing that matters is the counting of the beans. And there are other things that should matter. Like these people who are losing their gigs for General Motors, listening to the CNBC folks talk, well, that's their job. They got to, the shareholders. They've got to do the shareholders, and they need the job. Yeah, I get it, but to our own detriment. And same thing with something like Lowe's. You know, giving $20 million to Jimmy Johnson. Now it's going to be what? Ally? A financial company?
A-L-L-Y.
Yeah.
It's GMAC Financing.
Yeah, Ally.
Remember, he used to sponsor the 5 car.
Yeah. Right. Same thing. Exactly. But Lowe's could have done the right thing by all these NASCAR fans and retired on Jimmy Johnson and would have been his sponsor forever and would have gotten like 20 years free. Bad business decision because of the counting of beans. They didn't think about it. Like when Dan Marino could have been a Viking one final year. But he thought about it. He's like, no,
Could have been more than one, but yes. He had the opportunity to go finish out over there.
No, man. I'm going to keep this relationship together, and I think it has been beneficial because he's a, beloved icon god who can do anything still to this day in Miami. Lowe's now, all those Jimmy fans, they're going to be a little sour. Oh, man, you dissed the guy right at the end? What's up with that? And they're all going to Home Depot. All of them. And there it is. That was nice. It was a nice piece.
Isn't this great?
Steve Lavender on NASCAR.com. Now you don't have to go over there. Now you got it. You got it all here. All right, a couple of things that I got. One. Oh, this is interesting. All right, I was saying earlier I wanted you guys to help me solve a mystery. We were talking about, there was a lot of stuff we talked about earlier that we may or may not have gotten back to. I told Gio to write several things down. We'll see if he did. There was a couple things he was supposed to find out about, like crosses.
I got the Maltese cross.
Right. But
yep, definitely religious, like everything in life.
It is. They're all crossed. It's religious.
From the Crusades.
Oh, the ignorance. Sorry, guys. It's true. Yeah. Hey, is that Maltese cross has got something to do with religion? Oh yeah.
Apparently so.
Oops.
I mean, who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Knights of Hospitaller during the Crusades use a plain Latin cross. Occasional use of an 8-pointed cross by the order began in the early 14th century. So yeah, it's a descendant of the Crusades.
Maybe you should search it like use of cross that is not religious.
You non-religious.
Come at it.
How about look? I'm good at this once you start the non-religious use of crosses.
Right. I don't know. I think we might lose listeners over that one. That might lose some listeners. Sorry. But no, I'm going to give you whiplash on this thing because two things. These are Joe World things. One, what the hell is Lightkeeper Pro? This is a question that I'm asking.
Oh, is that what you sent me some crap about that?
Yep. And I'm hoping that you were able to look out for the commercial, but I excuse it.
But where would I see this commercial?
Because you were off. I'm going to play it for you. To me, it is the greatest mystery. I have no idea what it is. and they're advertising it all over the TV, and they say that there's 20 million of them that have been sold, and it does something, and it's like a little pistol, and you connect it to a Christmas light, and you click it 3 times, and everything's fixed. And I'm watching the commercial over and over again, and like, what is this thing? And they're like, click, are your lights giving you a problem? Use this thing. Click, 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 and they're all fixed. And it's like, what? And the lights come on. What does it do?
The clapper?
What is it fixing? What is it doing? Is it injecting electricity into the line and the lights come up? What's going on? Let's see what this commercial says.
This is the season of lights. Whoa!
They don't work.
What happened here?
Oh, no.
Well, no big deal. I've got the best tool to fix this light.
Here it is, the tool. It's a clicker thing.
First step, I remove any bulb from the unlit section.
Okay, remove a bulb.
Plug the Lightkeeper Pro into the socket.
Plug it in.
And click the trigger.
Click it. All right, click it.
That was 5 clicks.
Corrects internal bulb failure, the #1 cause of light set problems.
What?
Huh?
It's called replacing a light bulb.
If the set does not illuminate, there are other reasons a set won't work, such as broken wires, contact issues, or missing and broken bulbs. So to solve these issues, I go to the next step, which is the audible voltage detector to help locate the problem.
You've got
like
to be
this.
kidding me.
Let's listen. All right.
Beeping indicates the presence of voltage. When the beeping stops,
Okay, that's
you've
interesting.
found the problem.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Assuming it
like
works.
a stud finder that
Use
doesn't
the
work.
tester.
And here's the tester. You got a bulb
Oh
tester.
my
good.
goodness.
It was just loose.
Get a load of
It was
this.
just loose.
There we go.
Okay,
All
but the commercial that's on TV is a 30-second commercial.
Obviously, it wouldn't be this full minute and a half
And
ad
so
that you've made me sit through now.
In the commercial, the guy just goes, and click, 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 and it's fixed. Look at that.
Well, obviously, they had to edit 70% of it out.
I think it's still BS.
2/3, but nonetheless.
I think it's still BS.
Look, I'm
just
sorry.
replace the bulb.
How about you just replace the whole wire thing?
Right.
You don't save those from year to year.
Yes, you do.
We
People
do, but they don't last very long. They're inexpensive for a reason. They're fairly disposable. Do you wash the foil paper too? I mean, give me a break.
Listen, you know, there's a balance. You keep them for like 2 years. But when that happens, then you go throw them away. They're $7.99.
Oh,
how much is the
no,
Lightkeeper
get out of
Pro?
here. The most expensive lights now, you could get a bunch of them for like $2, $2.99,
no.
$4.99.
Not
yes.
the LED ones. You have
Well,
clearly
not the
bought-
LED ones.
They don't even
but
sell those incandescent
those
ones
aren't
anymore.
the LED ones either. Those look like the regular big
Second,
yellow.
The Lightkeeper Pro comes complete with batteries.
Oh,
the
my
Lightkeeper Pro is truly the complete tool for the repair of incandescent light sets.
Incandescent light sets, which are now this
You
is
know what it looks like? It looks like one of those tag guns, like to put the tag on clothing.
like a phaser.
Yeah, very similar to, I guess.
So
Speaking of
anyway,
Star
okay,
Trek.
I wanted to bring that to the table because it's just bothering me when you see the 30-second commercial, and you will, because they're running it all over the place. Like, buy this thing, and people are going to buy it. They're going to run. Oh, I got to buy that.
But is that like something on the news channels that you're always watching? Is that like one of those rights? So I might
No,
never
all
see
channels.
that because I haven't seen that in any of the live sporting events I've been
I
watching.
think you might see it, or
Well,
maybe not.
I'll let you know.
Maybe
I'll let
not.
you know.
And two, the Rolling Stones are coming to town.
I know. I just had this discussion with someone at work.
I want to go see the Rolling Stones.
you
It's
know,
going to cost
I do not.
$250.
I wouldn't.
Have you
would
seen?
Think it
did
might
you
be. I have seen the Rolling Stones before. Yes.
see? What if you hadn't?
Well, I have. So you know.
Well, but try your
and
best
Butts, candy, and nuts.
No, well, it would be a great character flaw to never be able to put yourself in another man's shoes.
Okay, look here. I'll give you this. I'm sorry. At this point, now mind you, I saw the Stones 30 years ago.
You saw Steel Wheels.
1989.
Yeah, Steel Wheels. They were already old.
That was like supposedly the last tour back then. Well, they had to have been old already if the drummer's like 1,000 years old.
1989 for the Rolling Stones.
I believe he's pushing 80, 78 or 79.
Back to
I'm
the
sorry.
point.
There's no 79-year-old guy that's going to go out there and rock out like if he was 39.
But it's the Stones, man, and I've never seen
It's like
them.
the Stones' grandparents, dude. It's not really like the Stones.
It's the Stones. It's
No,
the guys.
it's-
Yes, it's Mick Jagger, man. It's
And
right.
look, no, nothing. I know this is going to sound horrible, but I'm sorry. There's no way the 70-plus-year-old Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and Ron Wood or whoever's still even alive in the band can be that good at this point. I'm sorry. Like, how long are they going to go out there for? A 20-minute set?
I don't know.
Mean, really,
this is
let's be
all
honest.
a great mystery.
I'm sure they're going to play a good hour or something, but come on.
So
man.
you think, hold on, that the Rolling Stones are going to go out there, they're going to sell out a stadium, they're going to charge people like me like more than $250 to go in there.
I would be willing to bet it's probably going to be minimum 300 and up tickets. But
and they're going to stink. It's going to.
I'm not going to go as far as saying they're stink.
They're going to stink on ice.
I can't believe
it's going to sound like
that
a kid's
it's going to
band.
sound like, like a 1980s tour. Or anything like that.
I don't know.
Honestly don't believe. Now, I know the voice, I just can't believe that a 70-year-old Mick Jagger can get up there and rock like a 40-year-old, even if he was a comatose, all drug-induced, drunk 40-year-old guy.
Well, he's doing the songs. The songs sound the same. He's going to do it in a different way. It's like, Diamond Dave doesn't jump into a split in the air, but he's still good, though.
Exactly.
But he's still good.
But
show.
he's not 80.
Well, but that's the thing. I've never seen the Stones, and that's kind of a bad stat. I want to see the Stones, but I don't want to pay $300. $300 to go see a show is too much.
So where do you draw the line?
I don't know. That's why I'm bringing it on the show, man. I'm looking for sage advice from the listeners out there. I want to know, what do they think? Should what's the number? Is the Rolling Stones? Is that something that I should see? I went and saw
I
the
would
Boss.
say yes, but I mean, but again, to me, you're seeing it's not the
so
same
were
to me.
You. So
this
were
is
you.
Not,
you went and saw Old Stones.
I know, and I can't imagine having an interest in seeing them. Almost 30 years later.
Isn't it the same thing though? Didn't some guy say that about you when you went and saw it in 1989 and said, "Man, I can't believe a 45-year-old Mick Jagger can rock the way he did when he was 20."
I know, and here we are 30 years later.
Yeah. You should lose a little of that ageism you got because...
Well, whatever. Look, I just think it's great. I'm not going. So you can go and let me know how bad it sucks.
Well, and that's the thing. I know you're not going. I'm thinking about me. Should I go see the Rolling Stones? It's going to be a lot of money. I will definitely be in the upper deck of the stadium.
I got to tell you, I guess sitting for where you're at, never have gone, and if I want to tell somebody I've seen the Stones.
Have you seen the Stones?
Yes.
Okay, I can't say that.
Right.
I
never saw Elvis.
Have you right. So all those people who went to see Elvis.
I wish I could have seen Zeppelin in their full form. I saw a Plant and Page in the early '90s when they did that tour together with Jason Bonham. But
that kind of counts.
Right.
I would give you credit for that.
Right. It was them with.
I give you credit for that.
But I don't know.
I think it's if you like these kind of things are important. Look, would I have gone to see an old Frank Sinatra? Hell yeah.
But I think that's different. The guy was always just, for lack of a better term, lounge singer type. It's different than getting up there and doing a rock show. With pyrotechnics and having to run around.
Pyrotechnics.
Frank Sinatra, even in his 20s,
he just sat on a stool and kind of did a thing.
Right, so you could do that essentially.
What do you expect these guys to do? You go to the rock show for the guys running around and jumping and
But I expect the music
screams.
to sound like it did back in the day.
I think it has
just can't believe that it's going to sound like the same.
I think it's going to sound the same. They're musicians, man. They play the song. Gary Corbett, have you lost your abilities because you're old?
But he's only 40 or 50. But in 30 years, I don't think Gary's going to be able to go out there and do a 2-hour piano concerto.
Maybe he not do 2 hours, but he can bring it. What's that song that Greg Anderson taught us earlier this year? I'm not as good as I was for
ever been
for a long period of time,
something?
But I can be as great as I once was for a few minutes.
Wow.
It's somewhere. Yeah. That's the theme of it.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's just too much innuendo.
I can bring it for a little while.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what she said.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, anyway, that's what's on my mind, man. The Rolling Stones. I'm thinking about it. I saw the ad, and I thought...
You go with Paulie.
Stones. Oh, well, I don't know. He's seen the Stones hundreds of times.
Hundreds of times?
He's seen them at least 3 times, I'm sure.
All right.
He's seen them a bunch. All their ending things. Like when Kiss came around this last time... I didn't
see this one, but I've seen previous last tours.
I had never seen
By the way,
Kiss.
I actually believe
went
there'll
to
be
see
more
Kiss.
tours.
I had never seen The Boss. I went to see The Boss. Frankie Valli was coming. He's 88 years old. I went, me and my dad went to see Frankie Valli. Got to check him off. All these things, all these great bands that I never saw. I would love to see certain great bands. I missed a lot of the big rock shows back in the day. The Stones. Wow. That would be one I would like to go see. But I don't want to spend $300. $300, man, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. All you folks out there,
it's
look, I'm sure you're doing great.
With this memory of all this that you want to remember.
And that's why you should sign up for the patreon.com/WFO radio. The new page, Send Joe to the Stones. GoFundMe account has been created. I know there's children out there suffering and everything, but donate to my GoFundMe so that I can go see the Rolling Stones. For just 50 cents per listener, Joe will see and experience the Rolling Stones, and then I will review it for you. I will tell you how bad they sucked, according to Gio, how old they were.
I don't think you're being very fair with this.
In the interest of making sure people don't misunderstand me, there is no GoFundMe account for me to go see the Rolling Stones.
That was part of the comedic humor of the show.
Now, if I was very risky, I would play some Rolling Stones music underneath this segment of the show, but I will not do that because in my Podcast News Daily e-blast, Universal Music sues poker podcaster. Most podcasts stick with spoken word format because copyright issues that come using with music. While some podcasters may have been able to fly under the radar, record companies have now noticed it's no longer the case. A case involving a poker-focused media company is illustrating that. Universal Music Group has filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in Los Angeles against UK-based iBus Media and its subsidiary PokerNews.com. Did the guys on Poker Action Line talk about this? Did this make the show?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
The suit alleges 253 separate incidents of UMG copyrighted musical works and podcasts, including songs by Ludacris, Guns N' Roses. I went and saw Guns N' Roses when they came back, when Axl was back.
Here at the Miami Arena?
Somewhere here, yes. Nas,
okay, for the record,
Kanye West,
I
The
could just
Police,
find you,
Neil Diamond. Yes.
2 tickets for the Rolling Stones Saturday, April 20th here at Dolphin Stadium, or whatever it's called now.
Yep.
$260 each. Upper level 341, which would be like just about in the end zone corner.
Nosebleed.
But not with the stage directly beneath you, but there was a stage at the other end of the end zone,
It's April?
April 20th, 2019, according to this.
Wow.
420.
That's the day before Easter?
There you go. Easter.
Okay, well, first of all, it's a Passover miracle because I am in town.
All these upper level tickets here. There's some lower level tickets, and not the floor, lower levels from $450, $600, $700.
Okay, so you think they suck that bad, and these people are spending that kind of money to go see a bunch of
$1,100 on the floor?
Bang
no, the Dolphin, the 72 club ticket section, $1,188, 12 tickets. Field tickets from $1,139.
The Stones.
$2,300 the pit area. 14 tickets left if you like those.
1,400. Right. Yeah.
Each, not a pair.
Right. To go see the Stones. Yeah. And that's what they're asking, except it's really all a scam and they stink.
No,
and everyone is
I'm not getting at that.
People all across the country are coming out dissatisfied.
No, I think people will go in there, they'll get nostalgic, they'll spend all their money, they'll get drunk, they'll buy up all the crap, and they're going to think they had the greatest time in the world.
And the next day, they don't feel a regret.
No, they won't. No buyer's remorse because they're going to be reliving the Stones of the 70s and 80s.
So that's exactly the point.
And in their mind, it's going to sound just like the record did.
But really...
really, it's going to be like...
I can't get no
satisfaction.
You know what?
Well, listen. Youngsters, can you please move across the stage there with your little iPhones? You can't be taking pictures.
You're blocking my sight. I have actually experienced this.
Okay.
Because you can tell, the big rock show is something I like to do, and I like music, but I did not go to a lot of stuff. I was racing, man. I wasn't going to some shows. I wasn't going to see Rolling Stones, man. I was going to bracket races, man. I was winning races. That's what I was doing. But anyway, I did go to, a fair amount of nightclubs in the Fort Lauderdale area, and Revolution which is
The Edge.
The Edge Revolution, and whatever it was prior to and after, had booked-in shows and still does. And one of the booked-in shows that I always wanted to see, except I, born too late, and it would have been cool to see Debbie Harry and Blondie.
Oh, very nice.
Right. And so they were doing like a...
Actually, I think Great White was in town the other day, but it was a conflict with my anniversary, and I really wanted to go. But
you should have blown off the anniversary. And
I didn't even want to bring it up.
Once bitten, twice shy, man.
Was that who it was?
Yeah, that's a great jam. That's one of the hair bands that I like. And a great video, too. Like, MTV, early teen years. But anyway, so I went to see Blondie with Debbie Harry and was stunned. Because I went in kind of thinking, yeah, man, it'll be Debbie Harry, just old. And she forgot the words to call me. And she was just like bad up there.
She was like lip syncing up there or
yes,
something?
Except like a total meltdown. Like I witnessed, if it was now and everybody had a recording device, then it would have gone viral because it was an epic fail.
That's a little sad. I've always been a very big fan of Blondie and Dirty Harry.
Of course, because it's classic, unbelievable, great stuff from a certain era that we were talking about a few months ago on the show. And Anthony Bourdain's final episode was about that same period and actually had Debbie Harry on the show. And it was kind of interesting. It tied the whole thing together we've been talking about on the show. The Deuce season finale on HBO that I've been watching, it's okay. Not great, falling off. Just like with everything, they have trouble keeping it going. But yeah, man, it was a nightmare. I saw her again after that, and she was much better. I caught her on a bad night.
Oh, so she might have fallen off the wagon or something.
It was something like that. But it was bad. Like, call me playing and saying call me at the wrong time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She was even out of...
Sorry, Debbie. I'm going to have a bad day, too. And, I wish that there's someone that cares enough about it to talk about it on their podcast. Right? The day Joe has a bad day. It'll happen. It'll happen. And that's all I've got, with exception of my own racing experience, which did happen this past weekend, which I think is interesting, but maybe not. I just like to think that competing is
getting
interesting.
Out there and doing something.
As opposed to talking about, here we are, we're talking about racing and racers and all this, and I actually go out and compete. Kind of feel like that's interesting. But maybe not. Maybe it's not interesting. Gio was making a big case earlier in the show that it's not interesting.
Oh, I never said
you
that.
You kind of did.
I didn't say that.
You kind of did.
I'm just not interested in your stuff. But I
is
know
that
that
what
the
it is? Because
audience
it's me.
Is totally interested.
You're
in you.
disinterested because it's me.
I mean, I deal with you all the time, and I'm with you all the time, and I've witnessed the vast majority of all these experiences. So it's to me like it's not a big deal.
What it is you didn't get to go. You had to go up there to Hollywood Studios.
Well, yes, and I had my own adventures in Hollywood Studio Land. But it was all good, clean family.
But that
fun.
was interesting
a
to all of us,
great weekend of fun.
That was
great time with my family.
Look at you, man! You're bringing it back to you.
It is. Why would I want it to
gosh,
be about you?
There's this whole thing coming out here. Well, listen, you don't have to worry about it. Let me get to my deal. And
well, you want me to open the lines and ask for questions for Joe?
No,
we could do that.
Well, because they don't know what it is.
Well, but
it doesn't require that.
Send in your questions about Joe's racing over the weekend, and we will discuss them in off-season madness as it's off-season.
Oh, that is definitely welcome because this will be a hot story continued through the off-season because it's not going to happen again.
I was going to say, is this your yearly?
This is it.
Track to go racing? Is this the same time?
One and done. Same time as last year.
I mean, if you really want me to be interested, and you got to do this more often. It can't be a once in a blue moon annual, like in Joe's annual sale.
It is. It's the Black Friday racing experience. It's all tied with Black Friday 2 years in a row. So foreboding. Makes you want to hide under the bed.
It is a little scary.
It is. The rolling thunder and the screams. It's genius. I wish I could submit that to something. Like Talk Radio Sound Effect Awards.
Like a podcast sound award.
Podcast sound effects award. Production awards.
I like it.
Yeah. Too bad it doesn't exist. Hopefully our listeners would, submit Like when you nominate your favorite podcast, assuming they think it's good. Anyway, long story short, here it is. Go out there to Citrus Nationals.
Competition plus podcast of the year?
Exactly, but outside of our little motorsports universe, man. We got to get out of this. All of us. Steve Torrance, me, everybody. We got to break out, man. We got to break out of the little motorsports world. It's too small. Okay? It's too small. Everything, Nomex effect, everything needs to break out. It's too small. There's, 5,000 people who are hardcore paying attention to this. It's not enough. That's why we need to delve into the world of politics, man. We need to start doing podcasts about Trump. That's the only way to grow the audience. Everybody freaked out for a minute. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm going to keep our people together.
We almost had them. Go get your shoe shine box.
I actually have a crazy theory that, the lower numbers are partly attributed to that part of the world. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of attention that is paid to that whole thing, like the political phenomenon in America right now. Not just one person, but all of it. And I think it has kind of taken away a little of the lighthearted nature of
everything else.
Because everything is like really intense right now.
I'll buy that.
How do you go spend hundreds of dollars at a NASCAR race and think and care about, do you think Ricky Stenhouse is going to be faster than Casey Kane? When at the same time, press that Black Friday sound effect again. It's the same thing. It's a sense of foreboding. Something is always going on. Something is always happening. Everybody's got to pay attention to everything at all times. I think there's something to that. That's another personal just thought. That the whole thing. And it's amazing because it brings me back to where I want it to be, which is a little annoyed that we have that feeling while things are at the most convenient they've ever been. Give me convenience or give me death. Guess what? Why do you keep laughing at that?
I can't get enough of that one.
Well, it's an album. Yeah, I didn't.
The album?
I didn't come up with that. That's Dead Kennedy's album.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't come up with that.
Of course you were listening to that punk rock girl.
I didn't. Different group. But anyway, whatever.
Let's not get into
your
eclectic taste of music.
It's not eclectic. What are you talking about? It's the same genre we were talking about. You, of all people, should have respect for that.
Oh, I love it. I think it's great.
You like Primus.
Yeah, I do.
So? Primus isn't punk rock, but certainly a whole lot of their inspiration came out of that movement. But whatever. Moving on. Things are more convenient than they have ever been in human history. Right now. This is the best life on earth has ever been. Right now. I know a lot of people are nostalgic for other times, but they had black and white TV. And, hey, we used to go out and drink from the hose. Yeah, that's true. You used to drink from the hose, and it was totally cool. And so did I. We drank from the hose, and it's okay to drink from the hose. And you know what? If you want to right now, we can all go out and drink from the hose right now. It's still good, except...
Depends where you live.
Well, right. There are places you don't want to drink from the hose.
We don't recommend that to our friends in some parts of Michigan.
Right. Or the faucet. Or the faucet.
And by the way, those of you that think you can, I just wouldn't recommend doing it every day, all your water. You should get some other sources of water, just in case.
No big deal, guys. The Romans, don't worry about it. They tested the whole thing. But now, you can go inside and get a bottle of water. Like, there's bottles of water. You drink the Zephyr Hills.
That's
or the
just
Dasani.
the way they figured out how to
sell us stuff we think. Like,
part us
sell
from
us
our money
oxygen.
Again.
Well, you don't have to buy the bottle of water, though. You can choose to drink from the hose. And there's the fact that I can sit at a desk and pick up a device and call someone and see them, and they see me, and I want to see a video. Look at video. Oh, this song. What song? I remember times having to try to figure out what a song was, and I couldn't find it. Now you can hear anything at any moment, anything you want to hear. Whatever. You want to hear it? Okay, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
That whole Shazam thing is a little bit scary.
Right. It's the best everything has been. And yet people are dissatisfied and angry coming off Thanksgiving at all times. And that's what's got me a little confused. got me a little confused. But see, when you're in race world, though, none of that matters. Like, that is one of the things that is interesting. And I, despite of you trying to stifle my discussion, I'm going to move beyond your blocks and tell the audience the story of the racing experience. Sorry, Gio, you've lost. You've fallen by the wayside. Planned to load up on Wednesday, ended up loading up on Friday morning because of our problem that our great friend Joe Cimino solved. We did get onto the track approximately 3:30, unloaded, got to make 2 runs down the racetrack on Friday afternoon, and the car went down the racetrack, no problem. Just slow. Why is it slow? I have some theories, but it was raceable going down the racetrack. Decided to make a change to the timing on Saturday morning. This is something that has been, recommended. You should try this. And I am, following the recommendations. Jason Line, 3-time Pro Stock World Champion, Stock Eliminator Champion, gave me a couple of things to try. And so I went through the checklist of trying them and was able to learn what worked and what did not work, and that was great. But then it was time for round 1 eliminations. Now, because I was doing various things and hot lapping the car, it's been around for a while. This engine combination been together for about 20 years, dating back to the 2000 when Gio's truck was built. And just like Gio's truck, we developed a leak over time. And so I started to see little splishes and splashes of oil in our pit spot. I was like, oh, is that from us? Am I a leaker? And the answer was yes, I was a leaker. So we put it together, put it away Friday night. And, in the morning, like I was thinking about loading it up, bringing it home. Like, getting oil under your tires is a really bad and dangerous situation. It's bad to go out on the track with oil leaking from the car. And it seemed to be coming from the rear main seal of the engine up by the flywheel. And so I'm like, got under there in the dark. I said, let me check it out in the morning. Called a friend, told him about it. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, we're thinking about going home. I don't know. We're going to decide in the morning, whatever. He calls me back. He's like, I have the solution. You need to go to the store and buy some tampons. And I was like, tampons? He's like, yes. This worked for this guy that you guys don't know who he is. Back in 1987 in Miami, Hollywood, you need to go get some tampons. Tampons?
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Jokes
tampons.
Are endless.
Listen, this is a real-world thing here. This is what's happening in race world.
Yeah, talk about engineering.
So get up in the morning, staying in a hotel up in West Palm Beach with my dad. We decide whatever the deal is, we're going to only run on Saturday. We're not going to run Saturday and Sunday, which is how I was able to get home to watch Formula One. We're going to give it the college try, because Dad was partly like, maybe we just load it up and go home. The last thing we want is to ball this car up.
Oh,
Owned since new. Well, oil under rear tires can mean crash. And that's
absolutely
bad.
It makes sense.
So get up, go to the tampon store, go to Publix. And I'm like, do I want a pad? Are these pads the same thing as tampons?
Well, no.
Pads,
I mean, I look, I'm no expert. I
extra
can tell right now just
flow.
by your verbiage that pad and tampon is not the same thing.
No, I know it's not the same thing. So anyway, I dialed in on the right thing, which was the tampons. I buy the tampon. Then we swing by a Pep Boys and pick up some, I bought tampons and Flex Seal with my new great friend, Flex Seal spray from my friend Phil Smith, who I met out at SEMA. We're great buds.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for those samples you were bringing to the Flex Seal.
I have a sample of the Flex Seal glue.
All right,
I have it right in there. We have to glue something.
Yeah.
Well, now I have a whole can of Flex spray that is unopened because it was not used. I also bought a similar product from Permatex and got up underneath, cleaned off everything. A couple of cans of brake cleaner, cleaned everything, got the oil off of everything, looked up there, cleaned up, and I'm looking, where the heck am I going to put these tampons? Right next to the crankshaft and flywheel. And this cotton pon is going to get obliterated and thrown into the air all over the racetrack. And they're going to be like, this is Castello had a tampon stuck in his car. So I did not use the tampons. But I did spray with the Permatex spray, which did stifle the leak. Right. Enough that we could go get out on track. So now I'm out on track. First round eliminations. It was cool because I only got one time run. Everyone else got two. And I went and pleaded my case, and they let me get a time run right before first round eliminations, which was good.
Look at you negotiating.
Negotiating, man. Well, I had a problem this morning. I didn't want to, I'd install the tampon into the car. You get it. So come right back. First round, I got to run a guy named Gary Unger, who is a great racer. I believe he is also a Miami Hollywood Speedway Hall of Famer.
Oh, it's a Hall of Famer versus Hall of Famer.
Exactly. But people, doing the announcing did not know that. And he is a great racer, and he's got a dragster, and I was dialed 677, and he was dialed like 525 or something. And I had an 016 reaction time. He had an 019 reaction time. I was not going to lift at all because I'm so rusty, I have no idea how to do that. And he's coming up on me 20 miles per hour faster, and he took the stripe by 18 thou, broke out by 9 thou.
Look at that.
Or maybe 6 thou. Yeah, by 6 thou. He broke out by 6 thou. And I won the race. Victory. And just like that, I avoided having to buy back in, which would have cost me another $60. I was a little surprised that the entry fee was $125 to enter this race.
Wow, that's a little steep.
I paid $5,000 to win. But yeah, the Citrus Nationals has never cost that much. But whatever. I was a little disappointed because I couldn't compete. I'm out there just trying to figure out what's what. But I had to use the opportunity. Anyway, second round, come back. That's the run that I got the video on because now things are finally under control and I'm able to start messing around with some of the social media. So I did a couple of Facebook Lives on my personal page, and I did an in-car video, which is up on Instagram, and it actually turned out pretty good. But I hit the tree. I crushed it. I was going up against a dragster. I'm dialed 677. He's dialed like 4-something, and I crushed the bulb and red lighted by 3 thou. And the race is over. That's it. Drove by the red light.
Oh, vey.
Yeah. But at that point, it had been a really long weekend, battling various issues. And so, parked the car, went up, announced Bob Mote's jet truck. And
I think I saw a video of that, too.
A couple of funny cars. It was good. It was a great show. They had a great show. I got to say kudos to the folks at Palm Beach International Raceway. Also got to pay tribute to our great personal friend, mine and my dad's, Gary Birdman. I think I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. My friend who died of cancer. They had his dragster out there, and they did a tribute burnout, and they went down the track. It was really good. Great show. Had a couple of nostalgia nitro funny cars. Paul Smith was out there racing himself, driving, which was crazy. Paul Smith driving. I got to watch Paul Smith driving. And then Motes, speaking of octogenarians who are performing like they did back in the day and still rocking out, even though he's driving around in a rascal. Bob Motes, the king of Quake. And it was just a great time. And then Dave Richards had his big show Nitro Funny Car out there. And it was the most amazing thing. First of all, seeing all my friends and the racers and the drag racers, it's a really cool community, like when you get to the local grassroots level. But then we had big show stuff too. And quite a few spectators. I would say there was, I'm going to make a number up. I would say there was 6,000 people there. Maybe more, maybe 9,000 people there.
Like spectators or racing?
Spectators.
Oh, okay.
Like the grandstands. You've been there.
Yes, I
the
know
grandstands
exactly
were pretty much full. Especially, it was near a pro winter warm up style crowd.
Wow. Okay.
Good crowd. Racing in front of fans. Yeah, it was cool. So anyway, Dave Richards brings up his Nitro Funny Car and built it up, and it was spectacular. He ran 440 or something to the 1,000. 250 miles an hour. But just the launch punched everybody in the face. Everyone was like, you could hear the audible gasp. And that was what was special about it, is when Nitro Funny Cars are run in front of people who are not used to seeing Nitro Funny Cars. That is when you get the best reaction. When we go to these NHRA national events, most of the people know what they're about to experience, and they're still blown away. This was a case where not everybody had any clue what was going on. And when they got hit, they were blown away, and it was awesome.
Bam!
And we loaded up, came home, unloaded on Sunday morning, and went and watched the Formula One race, and had a great weekend. Great time all around. Now, why is the car slow? Mystery. Because I was
just going to blame the driver.
No, the driver doesn't really do that much to make the car go fast.
Aren't you also lead mechanic. Or
Yeah, I am also.
crew chief
I
or
am everything.
all of the above.
On marketing,
Yeah.
social media,
Well,
all of it.
exactly. So well, that's why I think.
But really, though, there's some sort of mystery problem now. Now it's a mystery problem. It's just slow. And I think it has to do with the torque converter. What do you think? Do you think it has to do with the torque converter?
I definitely think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I raced on
Or could be the flex capacitor.
It could be the flux capacitor. No, I think it's the torque converter, but I really have no idea. Made 1/4 mile pass because 8th mile is what they race there, which is dumb and ridiculous, and I will fight it till the end. But it's become a thing that's in fashion, 8th mile racing. And even though they've got a 1/4 mile track right there, and they could just choose to run 1/4 mile, but they only run 8th mile. I could do an hour on this, and I'm very angry about it, but I got to move on because I'm powerless. Apparently, the young junior dragster kids, they start out racing 8th mile. And when they age out of junior dragsters, they say to themselves, why should I run the rest of the track? Let's just run the same track that I've always raced on. So things will always be the same, so I'll never have to learn anything new. And I will not have to compete on an unfamiliar playing field. And so they are a large proponent of running 8th mile.
These kids.
Yeah. No, it's very disturbing and upsetting, and there needs to be a forum for it. And I'm mentioning it on Nitro, and I'm very against it. The junior dragster kids are potentially becoming a threat to 1/4 mile drag racing because they don't want to learn something new. And why would you, right? You've had great success. You're like a badass junior dragster racer for many years. You've been doing it since you were, let's say, 8 years old. You're now 18, 10 years under your belt. Everything has always looked the same. And now you have to change to something totally different that you don't know if you're going to know how to do it or not. Of course you're not going to want to do it. But
no, sorry, children. At some point, you have to learn that getting out of your comfort zone is what...
Oh, we don't want to run the cars so fast. Said no racer ever. Oh, well, it's not safe to go that fast.
Oh, it's too far, too long,
It
too
takes
fast.
too long to get to the finish line. Well, wait a second.
These
But
kids.
it takes 3 times as long to get to the end of the racetrack. No, it was insane. I'm very disturbed by it. It's upsetting. But I digress. Moving on. The car's just slow. That's the next area that we have to check. Maybe even before we pull the engine out to fix the rear main seal, we're going to have to put a different torque converter in there and see what it does. All things being equal. Because the mile per hour and elapsed time do not match. The 1/4 mile run I made, 10:57 at 130 and a half. 130 and a half, Gio.
It doesn't make sense. It's like Chewbacca living on Endor.
Exactly. Everybody knows Chewbacca does not live on Endor. Everybody knows this. So that's my next thing.
Well, except Dan.
No, Dan doesn't know anything. Dan has never seen Godfather either. He and
Lowe. Well, I think Lowe finally
No,
came
Lowe's
around.
seen it now. Lowe is on. Dan is the only one. He's never seen anything. I don't feel bad, though. I've never seen the Rolling Stones. There's lots of stuff I've never seen. Dan's probably...
I've seen all that stuff.
Dan has rocked out with the Rolling Stones hundreds of times, I'm sure.
He's probably seen him halfway around the world since he's got all that cool status that you wish you had.
I'm Platinum Pro, baby. I just got my card today. It was a big day. Thing came in the mail. Hey, Dan, you ever give away those things they give you? Like, they give you like a little certificate to present to an employee who has given you good service. Why are you laughing?
Great, that's hilarious.
Why is it hilarious?
I have this little
Yeah,
good
I would like to
employee
present
pass
you.
because I am special.
I would like to give you
and
this.
I am a special flyer. And I want you to know that I'm special because I have this special pass.
Well, that's not what it is. It's that you're commending them on good service.
Who do you think?
It's
they
got
know,
my it's got
they
my
know
number
the
on
people that are able to give them that.
Do you think that
the super duper flyers?
Yeah, but
So
maybe
then
that you get some sort of feedback benefit by giving them out.
Maybe.
They gave me 6 of them. Last year, I gave out 0. Maybe I need to be giving them out.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to give one out every 2 months.
So I have to carry these things around now and dole them out?
And give, right,
They're
yes.
creating
it's like
work
a
for
golden
me?
ticket.
It is. Mac, I'm definitely going to do it. And I would like to
That's
present
why you
this to
didn't
you.
reach that super duper status that you
I want
wanted.
you to know that I find you to be the most attractive of the flight attendants. And so I'm giving you this.
I don't know if
to
that's
validate your appearance.
That seems a little misogynistic, but
a little bit, says the guy who called the people from France frogs.
No,
Terrible.
not France. The French Canadians.
Oh,
Don't misinterpret.
Sorry.
No, I have
Oops.
worse things to call the people from France if you really
my
want.
God. No, I don't want to do
Other
that.
than Frenchies.
I love
of
the
course.
people from France.
I love people from everywhere. What are you talking about? I am nothing but a ball of joy and love with everyone.
No, it is so true.
Always happy and positive.
It's very suspicious. I don't know. I don't know where to go with that.
You were kind of waiting for the punchline?
Yeah. Well, we all have our lives that we, good and bad, man. There's good and bad in everyone. Ebony and Ivory. And there you go.
We'll end on
Paul
that.
McCartney, I might go see. I have seen Paul McCartney when he came down in the mid '80s, and he was old, and he rocked out, man. It was good. Live and Let Die. I still remember it.
Saw the Beastie Boys.
I've seen the Beastie Boys many times. I played basketball with the Beastie Boys. That is my great personal stat. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of those. They just don't ever come up on the show. Got a whole bunch. Del the Funky Homo Sapien, got a bunch. Hung out on a tour bus with that dude. Bunch of great, stories. Just never hung with the Rolling Stones or watched them on anything other than a screen. Anyway, all right. I think we're done. Thank you for listening to this edition of WFO Ignition. I think that this is a good one to send your friends just to evaluate what we did. Maybe they'll like it.
2-hour plus extravaganza.
Yeah, maybe they'll like it. Maybe they'll think it's great and be like, those guys are good.
That's 2.5 hours almost
Yeah,
there?
2.5.
Unbelievable.
The off-season madness, man. We're unrestricted.
Talk about your WFO Cyber Monday super sale.
That's it. You got 2 for 1.
Free shows today.
3?
Free. Not 3.
I saw that. Free shows, man. Cyber Monday. The one that comes after Black Friday. And anything we did not talk about, we'll talk about. Like, we were going to talk about Gio's Nest. His internet-based climate control that has probably been taken over by hackers already that are watching him.
They're making it super hot in my house right now so that when I get home I can start sweating.
That's it. You should never open your home to the internet. But sometimes good things come through, like WFO. All right, everybody, that's it. We'll see you next week. What's happening next week? PRI.
There you go.
Going to be up there. Oh, my
wow,
gosh. It
we
just
better
reminds
talk
me I
about
just
this.
made a huge mistake. Oh, no.
Logistical nightmare.
I might have forgotten to get the credentials.
Oh, boy.
Yep, big mistake. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Only 2 people out there are very annoyed right now, but they are bummed. We'll see you next time right here on WFO Radio.
The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
All right.
Black Friday.